What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Wardlow here.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to my birthday! And welcome to the Dire Bar of the IWC for a brand new episode 1 again! It's time for a drink with your drinking buddies right here on Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show and every day is my birthday! Of all days! Now here's your host, the coercive Miss Amanda Jane!
Marv, welcome back. Happy birthday, bud. Really interested to know how the contract negotiations went. But, hey, welcome to another episode 1. Happy birthday, Marv. You're the man.
Yay!
Maybe I'll send you some little bottles of Tito's. Anyways, so hi guys, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? It means I'm here to bug. So, of course, I'm Ms. Amanda Jane, and I'm joined with obviously Marv again because it's his birthday and he's not on strike anymore. I've got our buddies Ref Marsh, and guess who's coming again this week drinking with us? Good old Bishop from TW Takes Podcast. Hey guys, what's up?
We've got too many good takes around here. We got to bring Bishop in. You know what I mean?
It's been there's a lot of stuff happening that I'm like, yeah, Bishop needs to have, the other two idiots around.
Well, I think part about the terrible takes gimmick was that it was never that you had terrible takes, that you basically blessed others' takes as terrible.
Yeah.
But we've always run the gimmick as here he comes with terrible takes on purpose.
Oh, yes.
Oh, definitely. And I come here for the abuse. I appreciate it. If you want me to be the arbiter of terrible wrestling takes, then you go to TW Takes Podcast, twtakespodcast.com on all platforms and all that good shit. Just released an episode today. Part of my terrible podcasting takes. I did an audio unboxing.
I saw that, dude. I was like, this dude does not get it.
I'm like, what the hell? I'm a hump. What?
Does not get it.
How do you audio unbox something?
And I just hope there was a whole lot of, oh, would you look at this? Oh, this.
God damn
Oh my
tape.
God.
Is there any ASMR with that too? Like the
There should have been. That was my mistake. I didn't open up the package close enough to the microphone.
oh,
But I don't have
You don't
I don't
even
have a
hear
good
it?
unboxing setup. I don't have a good unboxing setup. So like what I was using with the camera was shaking a lot, but the audio, it was on my phone and it was crystal fucking clear. So I was like, this sounds so good. Let me figure out the right way to do this. So maybe I can send it to Marsh and he can cut it up like crazy and make it look all TikTok beautiful and do it's a 35-minute unboxing for audio. Like it's a 5 gig video that I took. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I can't really cut it up because I'm not a guy. So maybe Marsh can make it into a 15-second TikTok clip.
No, I mean, I can get it to you by Monday, probably.
yeah, all the sound effects and the fart gun and everything. Oh yeah, it's totally,
Yeah, right?
5
totally,
gigs?
totally meets that.
You said it was 5 gigs?
It's a 5 gig video. Yeah.
Okay, that's small enough. I might be able to actually do that this weekend. Yeah. Well, because I'm not going to be in town. I'm leaving town in the morning. I'll be heading just
Heading.
Where you heading?
just heading a couple hours away. And so I'm going to be out there for a couple of days. So I don't have my iPad. So I just won't have my whole rig is all. But I think that's something I could probably do through my iPad.
I mean, it's not that big a deal. The guy that
No, I got like specific iPad editing softwares though. Like I used all of half our intro. The countdown was all done on my iPad.
No shit.
The outro was completely done on the iPad. Like that wasn't all done through the other methods that I use.
My janky movie that I made that's like private on YouTube. That one's done on my iPad.
Yeah, I got iPad editing softwares, man.
All right, I'll
So
send it to you.
sometimes
And
it's good to get on it.
see what can happen.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to get it out and start doing some stuff.
So
Fair enough. I appreciate that.
I wanted to say this before we go on because my mind was blown.
Well, we're already on,
Yeah.
so
Well, see, look, it says beware drinking. We'll get to that in a moment.
The comments are supposed to derail the show, not the host.
before
didn't
we
read
get
that
started
part.
on the show, 7 minutes in, before we go,
Any further? Jesus Christ. Oh, blame Tito. Ah, damn it.
Is that
Anyway.
what's in your glass?
That's okay. Let's do what's in our glass, and then I'll. So that's our favorite game. I'll start because hi. So normally, I'm all about my, Coke with no ice. Who the fuck is that on the can? That's the dude, the Star Wars dude. I don't know. I'm not a Star Wars person.
the Star Wars dude. We got to show the can.
That one.
You have to show the can.
I am.
No, you got your thing. Is that Palpatine? Is that
Yeah, I guess
Yoda?
so.
Or is that Darth Maul?
That's no, it's not Darth
there's
Maul.
no face paint.
Yeah, see it?
It's just a red Palpatine. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the Coke can because they have the Star Wars ones. But anyway, I don't know who that is. We had a whole case of the only one that I knew was Darth Vader. I'm
He's
like,
the one that
okay.
you knew.
He was the only one that I knew on the can.
Darth Vader is your Hulk Hogan. Christ.
I guess. Or it's more like Andre the
Are
Giant.
you watching that Darth Vader series?
No.
As someone watches Mandalorian.
Right.
Anything
Oh,
with Star
no,
Wars
I
is
saw
fucking
Mandalorian.
Vader.
I know.
Wrestling Hulk Hogan. Is that Hulk Hogan thing? Is that
Yeah,
Darth Vader?
well, you do it like Hulk Hogan, yeah.
I did watch been doing Peacemaker, and shout out for the
Peacemaker.
black undie shot that we got. Episode 2, maybe? Or was it 3? I don't know.
Well, there's also it started episode 1. It started with a back shot,
Yeah.
just straight up back shot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like gratuitous back shot.
Yeah.
So obviously have
As soon as we were watching, producer lady just went, "Oh, Amanda's in, locked
Yep.
in."
I was already locked in because the preview there was promise of it. But I was
Yeah.
also locked in because it was actually a really good series.
It came out good.
That's just
It was great.
icing. You know what I'm saying? Just icing.
Yeah.
So today I have
so
some
what
not sponsored in my Buc-ee's cup. I
Nothing
have,
like it.
if you haven't had this, people, Chick-fil-A does seasonal like lemonades. This summer season, it was pineapple dragon fruit, which is amazing. They've brought back the cherry berry. It is wonderful. And I actually have the Arnold Palmer version with sweet tea and Tito's. So
It's a
that's
whole
what I'm
cocktail.
drinking. Who's
I've got
next?
that. I've got that strawberry watermelon Starburst sparkling water.
Mm.
You ever seen those?
Mm-hmm.
It's so good, man. 80 cents or something. I get a bunch of them every time.
And it's
Oh, wow.
sugar free. Crazy.
It's sugar free, dude.
Yeah.
So good. Did that. Threw some whiskey in there. Fuck, good to go, dude.
There you go. There you go.
What kind
And
of whiskey?
Bishop, what you got?
This one's actually Pendleton military edition.
Yeah. Okay.
They have a specific military edition they do on base, and we have that one. This one's I think it's the Got Your Six version because it's like a 6 year or something like that. It's really good.
Interesting.
With strawberry Starburst. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Strawberry Starburst. I don't think I've had it, but I don't think I've seen it in the stores. Only because someone bought me one. I had it.
What do you got there, Takes? What do you?
Just some red wine tonight. I did white last week, red tonight. Nothing special. Just an old bottle that's been laying around.
Gotta do it. Did
You
you
have a cool name, like last week?
No. This one it's a Malbec from 2012. That's how long ago I had it. I think I got this bottle in 2015. And I just never opened it, but it's called Finca. It's their Grand Reserve. A buddy of mine used to work for a liquor distributor, and he came to my house with I want to say 6 hand trucks of wine because they were going to be throwaways. And literally at the beginning of the summer, I had to throw out like 3 cases of wine because that's what was left, but all the corks are rotten. But these Grand Reserve bottles are extra thick with thicker corks, and the wine's still good. So 13
I
years
used to
old.
work for liquor distribution, and every year for Christmas they would bring out a pallet of wine, and you could grab a few bottles.
Yeah, returns. Any returns they had to toss. So like, of course, you toss them by putting them next to the dumpster and filling up your trunk. And that's what happened. You actually get cases of Mitcher's whiskey. That shit was so good, but I went through that.
Mitchell's is great.
Mitcher's fantastic. I got it, cases for free. Cases, like 5 cases for free.
Yeah,
it's like a $60 bottle or whatever, $45 bottle.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a bar out here that is like works with Mitchers specifically, and they get their own like once a year or once or twice a year. They get like a reserve. They get to go there and pick a barrel that's only going to be served in theirs, and it gets bottled and stuff. So
yeah, I've had their bourbon, their American whiskey, even their rye. I didn't like. It was better than most ryes, but yeah, it was those 3 I had tons of the best.
Amanda, what was it that you wanted us to talk about before we got started? What was the
So I did not know this. Okay, so you know how we are always giving shit to Bishop about Delaware and the chickens?
That part. Yeah.
He brought up something that I did not know. Something else that Delaware is kind of famous for. I'll let Bishop tell us all because I was like, what?
Mulch?
Well, I didn't necessarily know myself either, but a couple of years ago, ESPN did like this documentary thing, and it was about the fact that CZW is like the hardcore of hardcore wrestling and all this shit, and it's based out of Delaware. They do it in local farms and shit, and of course they go elsewhere, but yeah, there's so much farmland that they just set up on the outside and do shit. And they had one this weekend, and Amanda was like, "What? It's here?" I'm like, "Yeah, basically started here." And the event this weekend was 20 minutes away from my house. I sent her a screenshot of the directions from my house to that location.
Mind blown. Mind blown. I was like, wow. No.
That's where Moxley made a name for himself.
Yeah. And at the time, the documentary, I could say it now because I don't live there, but like the documentary, the guy was living in the city called Newcastle, and literally the house that he was at, I looked in a house to buy right next to him, and we ended up buying a house like basically a road and a highway away from where he was. I knew exactly where it was when they showed his street when he was walking. It's like, holy shit! I was literally trying to buy that house next to him.
Yeah. Janela. They're kind of the offshoot birth of they birthed GCW.
GCW, yeah. So CZW is it's a Delaware staple for sure.
Yeah. Wow. See, didn't know that. So
you're welcome, Amanda. All your favorites have come to Delaware.
Yeah.
to do CZW.
Well, not all of them. No, I
Well,
mean,
sorry,
well, Janela. You know,
but yeah.
yeah. Wow.
So you're welcome, Amanda. Quit shit talking.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am humbled by that. So I just had to share that because it was like, what? I was shocked. And I didn't know if Marsh knew that too. And if you knew and didn't tell me, then because that's an interesting tidbit. So Delaware has two things. If they're
Chickens and CZW.
Chickens and CZW. Anything, I have no idea. Mind blown. Mind blown. So let's get the birthdays done because there's lots of things to talk about in wrestling today.
Oh yeah, you gotta get to the birthdays.
Yeah, let's do it real quick here. Happy birthday, Marv, once again. I think it's in my contract. I do this a billion times. So happy birthday.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
Negotiations were stiff.
Oh yeah, they're kind of stiff. Yeah. Let's see here. Because I think I said these. Yeah, Drake Younger celebrating a birthday.
Yeah, we talked about Drake last week.
Yeah, we did. So I obviously fucked up on the dates. But happy birthday to Paul Heyman. He's turning old. No. he's turning 60. I'm kind of right. But anyways, happy birthday, Paul.
He's turning old.
He's turning old. I'm trying to add. Oh boy. If you guys remember from Wrestling Road Diaries, the original one with obviously Cabana because he made those, but with Danielson and Sal Renaro, it's Sal Renaro's birthday from ROH. Happy birthday, Sal. Angelina Love, happy birthday. Baron Corbin, happy birthday. Penelope Ford celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday. That's another CZW name right there. Teddy Long. Happy birthday, player. 78. Wow. Shiz. Kira Hogan, happy birthday. Cruz del Toro from LWO. Happy birthday. Let's see here. Daniel Garcia, happy birthday. Jim Cornette can eat dicks, but it is his birthday, so whatever.
Maybe he blows out dick candles on his birthday cake.
I wonder sometimes. I wonder. And then finally, I'm excited about this because I get to see him in October and was one of my favorite new wrestling finds a couple of years ago. Brian Keith, the Bounty Hunter. Not that bad apple. The fucking Bounty Hunter. Fuck the bad apple and that stupid Jericho shit. Happy birthday. And then once again, Marv, good to have you back. Good to celebrate your birthday again.
Of all days.
It happens. So if you guys know a wrestler who is having a birthday that I didn't mention, just let me know. I'll shout them out. It could be an indie person. It could be anybody. Yeah. Preferably living. And yeah.
Preferably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a requirement, but we can make it.
Before we get into the shows and stuff, which I've seen very little of, but we wanted to talk a little bit of news because this came up and you brought it up. So I pulled up the quotes and stuff because I did see it and it looks like Bishop did not. He was busy unboxing audio boxes.
I don't make fun of your sounds, sir.
What do you mean? I have sound effect. You had a dead silent unboxing.
No.
No wrappers or anything. No tape. No sounds of boxes getting cut. I'm going to have to add sound effects. You got to fully engineer. Mark Shapiro came out. TKO guy. What's his
Isn't he like the president? Yeah.
He's the president. Well, what does Nick Khan do? I thought he was part of TKO.
I think he might be president of WWE. So TKO has its thing, WWE has its thing, and UFC has its thing.
That makes sense. So Mark Shapiro of TKO said WWE is not where the UFC yet is on ticket yield. We have our work to do there. We know we have a lot of room there because Vince McMahon was primarily pricing tickets for families and wasn't totally focused on maximizing the opportunity there. was a fucking statement. Now that we've seen what we can do with UFC, family-friendly UFC, we're replicating that in terms of ticket yield and holding back and advance sales when it comes to on location on the WWE side, and it's working out really well. If we have a St. Louis going up against a Des Moines, Iowa, and you want us back there, you've broken records and sold out both your arenas, you have to pay for us to come back, or else we'll take it to another town. And that goes for NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and WWE side. So it's like you said, they want to get paid up front and gouge us on prices too. It's not like, hey, we're going to get paid to come to your town so that you can have the tickets lower. No, you got to pay for the venue. You got to pay for the event, and we're going to price gouge. The idea that he said it so shittily, Vince McMahon was primarily, we've got a lot of room because Vince McMahon was primarily pricing tickets for families and wasn't focused on maximizing the opportunity there. The opportunity being, let's be clear, to have decades long of fandom. That was the opportunity he was trying to seize. Right. He wanted families there, so generations of people would be hooked.
Yep.
And he's comparing it to UFC, which I don't watch all UFC, but I've seen very little children there.
There are no children there. You kidding me?
That's what I'm saying. It's not a family. He's comparing it to not a family focused thing. The idea of WWE is it's meant to be a family friendly thing. It's meant to be the circus in town. It's meant to be, I want the old generation to see their favorites come out with the new generations of their kids' favorites. So that way, when they have kids, they'll be able to show their kids their wrestling people they liked with theirs. Like, the idea was longevity, not immediacy. And I think we made a joke about this recently. I know I did with some other groups, but the idea of being like, yeah, but I can make more money now is way more important than the same amount of money over a longer period of time, right? I can make this much now, less later, but this much now. So I want this now. You know what I mean?
But also the demographic of people who go to UFC, because it's really kind of started where all they would do, their big fights, majority of all of UFC is in Las Vegas. And the people who go to those already are the big ballers, celebrities, and all sorts of shit, that are spending money. Those kind of people are not wrestling people, because any of these celebrities, it's getting comped.
Shapiro's point does make you now understand the reason to go back to Vegas for WrestleMania next year. Mm-hmm. But to Amanda's point, they mostly go Vegas and New York for, let's say, their big four, right? When they're amping up for International Fight Week, it's always in Vegas. That card in October, November, it's always in New York. And then they always have a couple other Vegas shows. And when they're not in Vegas, hey, we're in Texas. And we have this big Texas card. And we make sure it's close to the border so we can, put our elbow on that style of things. And because Brazil is a big martial arts hub, they make sure they have a Brazil card and an Australian card and a China card. So I absolutely agree. They just had a France card last weekend. Like they make sure that they drive that home. The difference is you have actual fighting and you have entertainment that requires storylines to get you to the payoff. Conor McGregor created storylines to increase revenue so you could get the payoff in UFC. But without that, you don't have storylines or a reason to watch UFC except for this badass versus that badass. That's it. And like Mark said, you're going off of the brutality. You're not going for the family environment.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, there's massive differences between them beyond just the brutality. But even then, the demographic UFC has is small. It's not a family demographic. It's not typical to be. I feel like UFC is age biased in and of itself, right? You have this small window of people who have money and spend it on UFC, and it's these guys of a certain age more often than not. There's always outlying numbers
on their arm usually.
Yeah. But WWE goes for a much wider demographic. They're not focused in on that quote stupid little demo. Yes, you want to attract the demo that's spending the most money, but WWE never wanted to neglect the fans that don't have money. They wanted to bring them in too because they might have friends who have money. You know what I mean? They might have family who has money, right?
Mhm.
And if you can get them to go to a show, they're going to be excited about the show and coming back and getting merch and all that stuff. Where this is like, hey, we've been talking about it the other day. The WWE's coming to around the corner. I just saw a show there the last weekend talking to Bishop about it before we came on. It's an arena hockey size or hockey arena venue. So it's small. We have larger venues here. And so I was all like, oh, they're not able to sell like they were 6-7 months ago because the last time they came through, not here because they avoided us altogether for a year for one. So it's peculiar you're coming back now, right? We hadn't come here for 2 years and now you're back in the small arena. But when you were doing the big stadiums and the big shows, like knowing where they were at in Phoenix, they went from one like a basketball arena to a larger arena. Now they're going back to that basketball arena. They scaled up and now they're scaling back down because people are not able to afford it. It's $250 to get in to the arena here. You know what I mean? It was 150, I think 120 to be, like we said last week, front row behind Pat McAfee for the SmackDown before Money in the Bank in like, was it 2021, 2022, something like that. So like the idea that they're saying that there's still so much room to price gouge more is completely wild to me. Someone brought up, he goes, someone said in one of my chats that I'm in, because they were talking about this very thing, you know, it says, I have to imagine it's much cheaper to run a UFC event over a WWE event. You know, he goes, I haven't been to one in a long time, but it was wild back in the days.
Kiro's in the chat. Kiro.
Yeah. The idea that UFC is going to be a lot cheaper in general also makes a difference, right? So with UFC, you only have one-on-one fights. You don't have 8-man tags. You don't have 6-man ladder matches.
No.
You don't have 6 backstage things with 2 or 3 talent who are interviewing the other talent, right? Like, you want a UFC fighter, $6 million? Well, is much less than the amount of wrestlers who do.
Yeah, and they have a 100, 200, 300 man roster that performs and only gets paid to perform 3 to 4 times a year. They don't get paid for training or anything like that. WWE has a roster size of independent contractors. I'm sure UFC is the same way too. Like they sign a contract, whatever, who are date committed, but it's a completely different business model. Like the fact that they're even trying to formulate it into a UFC style business model is crazy to me because, again, like you see the clip of Finn Balor doing the Penta walk, right? And that's something that only happens at house shows, right? They don't do that shit on Raw. Yeah. And house shows are where you build your television base. It is the truth of it. I literally can't take, like you said, I can't take my son to a show anymore. Right? Like they've priced us out. And if I do take him, then the wife's not coming because they've priced out the family. You know, have you guys seen the video of the Sphere in Vegas?
Yeah.
Of the Wizard of Oz thing?
Mm-hmm. That's awful.
I think it looks incredible. I would love to see it.
But you know how much it is?
Yeah, so $200 a ticket.
Yeah.
I can't spend $600 for us to go see a movie and have that experience. I just can't.
And it's not even the movie because they chopped it up too.
But if you give me an experience that I've never had, a new experience that I've never had before, with a unique story and something brand new, then yeah. But it's just not. I just don't understand them trying to operate this way because there is no reality in wrestling. Mm-hmm. You cannot pull us in and tell us it's real, right? Come pay more to this fake thing that's happening. Yeah. No, I'll just sit home and watch it.
Yeah, especially with as much as like we talked about, they're ripping down that curtain altogether. They want to tell you all the time this is phony. This is bullshit. This is just regular TV show. You're basically a live studio audience for friends, right? Is what they're trying to tell you all the time now. And then now they're also saying we also should charge a lot more. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like you bring up that you can't bring the family now. Kev is trying to figure out how he can take his youngest boy and only his youngest boy to, I think, Survivor Series or something. But looking at the price of everything, he's picked up another job. And he's hoping he'll be able to save enough for it. But he's not guaranteed that and doesn't know if that's going to work. And it's only for 2 tickets. You know what I mean? Like, he's not trying to take the whole family. He's got 3 boys and a wife who all check it out. You know what I mean? And so, like, the fact that he's trying to figure out if he can take one and needs a second job to do it, that's not the family-friendly environment that it used to be, right?
Well, it seems like the only family-friendly things, and it's really, you don't see a lot of children there, but look at NXT. Okay, first of all, I think that they need to, if you're gonna charge people, you need to fucking tour it more. Okay, because I'm sorry that these people get shit. It's like free. Okay, they're fucking spoiled. They get all these fucking like house shows, which now all of a lot of the WWE talent is actually wrestling at them. This last weekend, I think Miro was there, and I want to say Roxanne Perez was there, and those tickets are cheap. I mean, that's family friendly. But at the same time, it's like, then you have the other spectrum of it where they have these, PLEs, and it's fucking arm and a leg. I'm paying over $500 to sit in a fucking front row hard cam in a fucking armory. An armory. What the fuck? I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, at least the Arizona one that they're doing for Halloween Havoc, at least that's an actual arena. But even then, I don't know. I've never been in there. I think, Marsh, you've been in there, right?
Which one?
Finley, whatever, the one that's in Paradise Valley.
I don't know the name of all the things.
I don't know what the name is either, but it's in Paradise Valley. Because
Oh,
I was like,
Phoenix?
oh, that's so far. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's so far from Phoenix. And you're like, no, it's not. It's a real quick drive.
It's in Phoenix.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
When Marsh brought up the fact
It's around Phoenix.
they're going to do the pay us to come see you venues. When I think about that, right, like you said, Amanda, they need to tour more, just with the NXT part of it. But again, they took away house shows, right? So again, being in Delaware, right, they used to run the University of Delaware's Bob Carpenter Center, which is the University of Delaware's basketball stadium. Well, it's like 4,000 seats. Okay. They used to run that every single year. And the last tickets we bought to that was during the pandemic. It was like an April show or whatever. So like it was one of the first things canceled around us. And they never came back. Ever. They have not come back. And yes, some of that was with Vince, some of it was post Vince. But my point is, the last house show we had to do was in Hershey, Pennsylvania, which was, I think it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And then they ran Raw there like a year afterwards. So when you get rid of house shows and you only go back to places that sold your house out or whatever, you're going to continue to marginalize your customer base. You already took away the number of opportunities to go. And then you're going to limit the new opportunities to those who sell out and make you the most money. So now it's up to us to make sure that you guys come back. How about you put on a product worthy of us going to see? And I've said it for years since I started the TW Takes podcast. House shows are better than Raw. They are a more entertaining place to go than Raw. Raw was pre-Netflix, was built for the commercials, right? Segment here, commercial. Segment here, commercial. Come back from commercial, here's a vignette. Then you start a match, it goes into commercial, and you're watching rest holds for 90 seconds. And then they come back from commercial, and the guy who was on defense is on offense now. And then it ends in fucking a minute, and then we go into vignettes, and they're telling stories and all this shit. Like, being at a Raw sucked. I fucking hated it, except for the time the Undertaker showed up, and I got to see Goldberg spear Brock Lesnar in the same show. That was cool. Okay, that was cool. I was there for that. Okay, the gong hit, the lights went out. He came out from under the ring. He was standing in the ring. It was fucking cool. But besides that, though, like, it's not as fun. House shows, like I said, Finn Balor did the Penta walk. Like, the engagement that they have, the back and forth, like, that exists more at a house show. It brings in, as Mark said, the next generation gets to have that kind of fun. And the fact that they're done house shows, okay, fine. But you're not going to come to Philly anymore because they don't sell out. That's crazy. Now, of course, they will because Philly always sells out. But those hot spots, sure. But now you're turning it into a television program at like fucking AEW. They used to run Chicago every other week because that was the only place they can sell out. Well, if that's what WWE's going to do, good fucking luck. Good luck. They took their TV money and they're like, yeah, fuck the live customers.
Well, now AEW is doing residency in Philly at the old ECW arena, and I'm like, that's kind of dumb because again, you're creating this culture of these are the same people over and over and over again, just like a PLE. So that's why, like, I don't like with the NXT house shows. It's all in Florida and maybe North Carolina is the furthest north. And I'm like, it's cheap. These people will fucking go. And it's like, all right, well, because that's like an indie. That would have been great if they had come out here when it was black and gold and all the indie people that I used to see.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been fucking amazing. But no.
That would have done well, yeah.
Hate Florida. And so I decided that, yes, I am going to go to one of those house shows since I'm out there. They're doing one on my birthday, but I can't go to Florida that like that. I'm like, ugh, once is enough. Once a year is enough for me, and I'm good. But, I was surprised how cheap it is. I found a second row ticket, $50. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, that's cheap. I can't tell. I mean, that's what I pay to go to West Coast Pro, $50 to sit in the front row.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? I mean, my thing that I'm kind of seeing that it just kind of seems is that, okay, you've got you have Evolve. I don't even know what the hell's going on with Evolve and that WWE ID, because it's all about that LFG show, which I don't watch, and it just seems like a waste of time. But it's like, everybody's spoiled. Look, they're doing NXT Homecoming on Tuesday. They've got all these people who are on NXT are going to be wrestling on that show. I mean, the card looks really, really good. That would be one to watch if you do watch Marsh, because they've got Stephanie Vaquer, Tiffany Stratton, and Rhea versus Fatal Influence.
Yeah, I mean, Jace Jane's not been impressive for the last little bit, but I'm sure she's getting better. I'm kind of over I'm over a lot of what NXT is doing, but the constant trying to bring someone who we're misusing on the main roster to inject into NXT to make you go back and watch NXT again. I'm kind of like, so what? So I can see Stephanie Vaquer get the pin in a 3-on-3 match and then go back to not being on TV on SmackDown when she won a battle royal to have a guaranteed title shot that took them fucking 3 months to remember. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to watch NXT to just be like, oh, I remember when they used this person too. Like, just use them. You know what I mean? Like, let's.
Oh yeah. And that's why DIY is coming. That's why they're back.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But at least they have Trick and Mellow, so that'll be interesting to see. But I mean, Grayson Waller's doing the Waller effect. And as Oba said on Tuesday, oh great. Another obnoxious loudmouth. Ricky was the first. But anyways, no, I mean, these prices are ridiculous. I mean, I know with like Mania, I'm probably not going to go because that's a lot of money. I'll be there in Las Vegas, but I'm not going to dump any money in.
Honestly, you might be able to sneak in day of. I mean, look, I know it was 2 years ago, and I know it was Philadelphia, but a buddy of mine got a ticket day of, solid seat, easy enough to see shit for $150, and if you can get in, you can get in. And look, I enjoyed myself at Mania. I was very upset at the set design because it felt so low budget. They figured it out since then. It was Triple H's first Mania. They did what they did. That's fine. But I got to say I went to Mania, so I'm okay with that. But no, I mean, I think we all kind of just agree that the thing that I didn't quite expect was the corporatizing of the perspective of TKO when it came to WWE. If they wanted to turn WWE corporate and put Jay on a Minute Maid Boxing, give Slim Jim commercials, and brand them out the fucking ass, and they want to put Slim Jim on the tables and shit, by all means, do it. But as they're doing that, they're taking away the essence of what drew us in. And like we've said before, you want to charge $30 for a streaming service? I got other ways to watch. And I was actually going to say this before and I forgot, but when you take a look at UFC's trajectory, from its infancy, right, from UFC 1 to UFC whatever they're at right now to whatever 300, I don't know. Their popularity and overall quality of sport and production has been a consistent uptick. Yes, of course, there's like a little moment where talent retired and there was a transition in style, so it looked a little weird, all those things, right? Consistent uptick, though, in their success, their style, everything. WWE and the wrestling industry as a whole is prime example of don't fuck it up. In the 60s, it got fucked up. In the 80s, all the local promotions fucked up. In the early 90s, they fucked up. In the post-Attitude Era, late 2000s into 2010s, they fucked up. They continually find a way to cause the dip in the wrestling industry. And it's great for those of you like Amanda who love indie wrestling, because then there are these smaller spaces where the talent actually exercise their creative liberties and they put on these things that make you love wrestling again. But when it comes to the television product, look at TNA. They were up for a little while, and then all of a sudden, Marsh was beating them on fucking Twitch, going head to head. So like all of these entities in the wrestling industry, if you can't maintain that customer base, everything goes down.
Yeah.
And it seems like WWE is on the corporatizing of phoning it in when it comes to us as the fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because right now AEW is experiencing that lull of, all right, too much. And I think that part of it is, I don't know if this is any part of it, but I think because people see the very lax schedule of AEW talent, and they're getting paid pretty well, because Bryan Danielson made a comment about salaries in AEW versus WWE.
I loved it.
And
oh my God.
I'm sitting here like, really, do you want to go there? Because now they're not doing house shows. So these guys were like, oh, we're on the road like 287 days a year or whatever the hell, or whatever. You're not anymore, because you're not doing the house shows. You're not doing any of that. And so for me, I'm like, yeah, it's like, okay, you're getting less, which most people are like, yeah, I'll take less to go over to WWE, because at least I'm doing something versus not,
Well, so I saw what Danielson said, and I couldn't help but just laugh as I was reading it. Like,
yeah.
In full context, he said that they give 40 to 50% of their revenue to the wrestlers or whatever the fuck, and all this shit. And there's just a scale problem, period. Like, if you're making, okay, so all right, 60,000 people in London, right? Well, I know for a fact, by speaking from people who have been to the event, it's not WrestleMania prices. It's not WrestleMania revenue. It's also not WrestleMania production. It's also not WrestleMania set design. It's also not WrestleMania roster level travel fares and things. So like everything associated with what WWE puts on as a production has a higher cost to everything anyway. So let's say that the revenue that goes to the wrestlers in AEW is 50%, right? But AEW has 20% costs. There are literally companies like AEW early on that will deficit fund these things, where they go so broke that the revenue doesn't cover the cost.
They still
But-
are.
But it's an investment in what you're doing. So if a WrestleMania does, for round numbers, does $100 million, right, in revenue, and Danielson goes, well, 50 million should go to the wrestlers. Well, what if it cost 70 million to put it on? Then only 30% can literally go to the wrestlers. But then you also have corporate people you need to pay.
Mhm.
So then, okay, 50% of your net profit then? Because it can't be revenue. Revenue's gross,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Profit's net. Like, shut the fuck up.
He doesn't know math.
He's
Steiner math.
fucking CTE, man. He's on commentary again. Why? Because you can function as a wrestler? No. Look, I think Danielson, I've seen him speak publicly. I've watched videos, just with him being around us. He seems like a beautiful man. Like, as a person, seems like a genuine person. When it comes to to talking and speaking about things, he is a very passionate person. But he is also ill-informed because he is stuck to his views.
Yeah.
You need to move forward in your views into reality.
Liberals. Super liberals.
He's a very vegan. He loves his beard. I get it. Eat your vegetables, grow your beard, bro. I get it. You don't want a shirt that's printed with horrible ink unless it's on vegan cotton. I get it. Wear your hemp shirts. By the way, I still think his WWE title belt is goated. His fucking environment.
I still have the action figure that came with that.
That belt is.
That's one of the. It's one of my favorites I ever saw. I still think it was fucking brilliant. So high level.
And that's
Junior isn't that vegan. Come on.
But when it steers into the skit that way in the performance art, go for it. Like, I remember on commentary, he was like, "And Byron, how much chickens do you eat?" And like, it just so happened to be the black guy he said it to, but what he literally meant is that Byron Saxton is on such a high protein diet that all he eats in catering is platefuls of chicken. It was a literal thing he was saying, but he had to make like an apology on commentary while he was being a heel. It was fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, they're like you said that. Like, and he's all like, "I'm just saying because he works out a lot."
Right. I wasn't saying the
No.
guy eats chicken. I was saying the guy who's high in protein eats chicken.
Yeah. But dude, what makes me mad too, because you guys were talking about like secondary markets and stuff, and there's chat going on, and one of the group chats have been going about it too. And this came up the other day, and it's kind of want to shout it out because it kind of made me more upset at more artists than I thought it would, because it really ticked me off. But Josh Johnson, who has been making a name for himself on the Daily Show, he's been touring and stuff a lot more and more. He put out, this was a while ago, it was like 6 months ago. Which makes it even more aggravating, right? He did this like 6 months ago. He says on a post, it was on his Facebook and his Instagram and wherever else he exists, I'm sure. It says, "Today I refunded over 900 tickets to one show. A venue contacted me and told me the day they went on sale that they believed that a lot of blocks of tickets were sold to resellers. One of the things that really bothers me on this tour is all of these tour tickets and finding out they're sold out. And the resale price is astronomical. Please don't pay more than the intended prices for these shows. I would rather have empty seats than any of you pay a lot more for tickets." So what he ended up doing, he even said in another thing, "Please don't support resellers purchasing tickets at high prices." So the venue reached out to him because he went more in depth in it on another post that I saw somewhere where they said massive chunks of like 150 and were being sold at one time, and that they didn't think something was right about that. And so he had them, through their thing, refund all those tickets back and said, "We're not taking any of your money, and all these tickets are now back for sale at regular price." The idea that venues can see this and know this, and the idea that tax can request this and demand it and get it, means that anyone you see who has resale tickets of double what they're paying could do something about it, but doesn't. That means they condone it. They're okay with it. So I get more annoyed because I think I even mentioned it on here a while back, how cool it was that Jelly Roll came out and was talking against Ticketmaster and their surge pricing and their service fees and saying that it has nothing to do with him and he wishes there was something he could do about it, but there's just really nothing in this time and he feels bad that people aren't able to afford some of the things. And then you see a comedian trying to make a name for himself not just take the reseller market and say, well, ticket sold's a ticket sold. He has money to lose here.
Yeah.
He doesn't have documentaries about him like Jelly Roll. You know what I mean? He doesn't have number one hits. He doesn't have an entire industry backing him the way that Jelly Roll has. So for Jelly Roll to be like, I wish there was anything I could do. But for this guy to say, I'm willing to take the loss of money to make sure that this shit doesn't happen at my shows, just tells me that anyone who's allowing it is allowing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Jelly Roll could do something, and this is to show my age, because I remember back in the day, Pearl Jam was they would not sell any of their shows on Ticketmaster because of the fees. And the fees back then are nothing compared to what they are now. Right.
Yeah.
So I just kind of shake my head. Also, this whole thing with these fucking markets, I think it's bullshit that fucking the state of Massachusetts gets John Cena's farewell twice. That's not right. New York's had it a couple of times, and then yet still is doing it. And then, somewhere where, there's a lot of shit. Like obviously the Bay Area is now a secondary market, and we don't get to say farewell to John Cena. That pisses me off. So.
Well, yeah. And then they just released, because I don't think he's actually going to Springfield.
No, what do you mean? Springfield? No, that's one
of that collection.
He's got Raw on Monday. Well, Monday apparently he's going to be on Raw in Massachusetts.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, they did a Springfield collection for that Raw, so it's not going to be Celtics colors. It's going to be Springfield where we went to school.
That's bullshit.
Right. But the reason is, and if you look at the bottom, hold on, I was trying to tell you about this last week too, and you guys still didn't let me get it out then either. Mm-hmm. If you look at the bottom of that shirt, it says the Never Seen 17. It's got his number 54 on it, because that's his hometown. That was his home number when he was in school in the sport team. Mm-hmm. The Never Seen 17, he brought up at a convention he was at, where he said that he was at a convention and said, you guys are a collectible group of people, so maybe if you guys could create a lot of noise. He said they were counting on seeing a lot more cities than they decided on. And so he said they made a whole bunch of designs for cities specifically. And he goes, and you wouldn't believe the exact number that we designed of cities we will not be going to. He goes, it's actually 17. He's like, we have the Unseen 17 collection of cities that he won't go to, but they have merch for.
I bet you one of them is mine.
I bet you one is.
By the way, people, if you want a very good priced ticket to SmackDown, it's San Jose SAP Arena, hit me up. It's a very good one, actually. Lower bowl, facing hard cam, on an aisle. Yeet. So that's all. Good price. Surrounding tickets right now, we're going for
just to say, this looks like one of those ones from the Unseen, which means that there is a possibility they could start releasing the other one. So you might still end up with a San Jose Cena one if they start doing the Unseen.
One in Sharks colors would be crazy.
I was thinking
so fucking cool.
That would be so fucking awesome. And you don't need to go to San Francisco at Chase Center, because you've had so many fucking blue and gold shirts. It's fucking believable. Like, go places where you have other things. If he went to Sacramento on Raw, that would be the King's colors, purple and silver. I would wear that. Not really my place, but San Jose meant a lot to me, because that's where I touched his ass with two hands. That's back in the day when I would get like front row hard cam tickets day of at the arena for like $85, $90. I mean, the only time I never got that was when The Rock was there. So I had to settle on like a shitter, but I got to see The Rock. So, he didn't wrestle, but I at least got to see The Rock. But, if this Never Seen 17 collection, and there is one in there, that would be fucking great. But it still breaks my heart. So now I know that the last time I'm going to see John Cena will be Survivor Series. That's fine. Yeah. No ticket yet, but that's fine, because I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait.
Yeah. I'm going to be out there. We're going to try and figure out what can't happen one way or the other, but
yeah, no.
But yeah, so TKO says that they're underpricing all of their tickets, as everyone else has been saying for well over a year, that the prices are unattainable as it is.
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess we'll see how it plays out.
I don't know how some of these people can afford it. I have Brock Lesnar, guy's been very transparent about how he gets his tickets. He's doing it day of on the black market, like literally right before the show starts. I never have that kind of luck. Well, I did for stand and deliver after a certain ticket debacle I had with stand and deliver. I kind of lucked out at the end of the day. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. Do I think that No Mercy NXT is worth $500 for the first couple of rows? No. It should be half the price. Or at least like, or make it be how much I paid for one of the fucking AEW PLEs, because I don't get a fucking chair. Okay, there's no chair. I don't even get anything. There's nothing. I don't get like
stop pricing out their fan base.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not getting anything. It's like, you're gonna give me like a fucking hot dog or something, you know? Can I have the poster of everybody, the main poster and signed one? Can't I even have one of those for what I spent?
The time that I lived in Tucson, we never missed a single WWE show that came through Tucson. We caught at least half of the ones that went through Phoenix. And that was just about whether or not we could drive out there, get a hotel or not. But we went to almost all of them. This is the first WWE show coming to Rio Rancho since we've moved to New Mexico. And it's going to come down to day of walking up and seeing if we can afford to go in. You know what I mean? And if it's not a price that we're okay with, we're just going to go home.
They're
you know
not
what I mean? Like
doing
that's the
tickets anymore?
They've never done military or veteran tickets for anyone not in uniform. You have to be active duty in uniform.
Oh.
So
because we looked into that too.
Real quick story. I got back into wrestling around 2015 WrestleMania, right? The one in San Francisco. By 2016, right before Battleground, wherever the fuck Roman was suspended, he came back, right? That particular time frame, okay? We worked up the idea, or I actually got the missus into going to a show. We got front row at the University of Delaware for $100 a seat. Okay, this was Sammy versus KO at a house show. This was Seth versus Dean at a house show, and Roman's return from suspension from the Adderall mishap. My point is, that $100 a piece made my wife into a fan because we were that close. We got to see it. We got to feel it. We had the ability to experience it. To Amanda's point, we weren't priced out of being front row. And the ability to go front row was like, holy shit, you know what we're going to do next time? We're going to try to get front row. And then we got second row on the other side. And it wasn't as cool because we got zero high fives. You know, like Sin Cara turned his back to my wife so they can do the selfie thing, and she fucked up the camera, right? Like those kind of things brought her in when we were front row. And then we go second row. And we're like, well, second row, let's try to get front row. We couldn't get front row. Hey, let's see what it looks like when you sit all the way up top. We saw 3 shows at that building. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens in a steel cage match, which Kevin Owens couldn't make the match. So I believe it was Sami Zayn that took his place. So it was Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles in a steel cage match at a house show, right? Cena versus AJ Styles at a house show. That wasn't University of Delaware. But my point is, like, we got to experience these things that go, now we're fans.
Yeah.
Now we're fans. And then, like I said earlier, WWE used to go like this and then go, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to go down. We're going to go down, and then we got to rebuild ourselves up, and they do some shit that's really fucking cool. And it draws people back in. Well, how about you just keep us there? Just keep us there. Find a way to keep us there. No, it doesn't have to be $100 front row to the PLE, right?
No.
But have the house show. The last couple of house shows that they did have, those front row seats, $300. Why? Because they're a gold experience package where you get to shake a hand of a wrestler who you may or may not want to see, depending on which house show it is. You get a signed poster, And the house shows around me, you can't take the chair because they zip tie those fucking things together.
Yep.
So it's not the full thing. So I get a lanyard and a sign poster. Oh, and by the way, if I want my kid to be the one to meet the wrestler, now I have to spend $900 on front row seats so all three of us can get up there. And now my kid meets a wrestler for $900. No, not doing it.
Yeah.
Just not doing it.
Yeah, and you get someone like, I don't know, you get like,
I mean, look, even if it's Austin Theory, even if it's Austin Theory, he seems like a great dude, loves wrestling, would be a good guy to talk to when it comes to that. It's not someone my kid cares to see.
Yeah.
No.
He would want to meet Seth Rollins. He would want to meet Becky Lynch. He would want to meet CM Punk. He would want to meet.
Why?
He would want to meet Cody Rhodes because they're the stars that get presented. That's my point. It's not about what I think they are. These are the stars that are presented. Now, at least he doesn't like Charlotte, so that's cool. But he'd want to meet Alexa Bliss. He'd want to meet Dexter Lumis. You know why he would want to meet Dexter Lumis? Because Dexter Lumis was on Tacoma FD. And we watched that on Netflix, and that show's fucking hysterical. And he's the one guy who's on Tacoma FD looks like Dexter Lumis. And then they did this crossover, not this, this Firehouse crossover thing, and Dexter Lumis was on the other Firefighter team. He's like, oh my God, that's Dexter Lumis. I'm like, yeah. He's like, he's my favorite wrestler now. Like, it's those things that you can bring the kids in, and they're literally pricing it out, man. And it's a fucking shame. It's a shame.
It's good that Dexter Lumis has a fan because Martian. No. Oh, I'm having nightmares now. Oh, the way. Oh, anyways. But yeah,
I mean, and it's the literal pricing out. Like I just told you, I hadn't missed a show and had come within driving distance, let alone a walking distance. And in years, and now it's going to come down to if they're going to make it priceable for me or not. I make more now than I did then, but I'm all like, I don't know. Yeah,
that's the one drawback for me with fucking Ricky, and I knew this. This AEW was like, okay, I'll just go. When you're here, AEW, not AEW, WWE. I'm like, dude, I'm like priced out. There's like no way. When you go to Raw, I can't spend $2,700 to sit front row. Cannot do that. I cannot do that. Like seriously, right now I'm having a problem paying fucking $585. But then again, I said to myself, you know what, Self? You spend it almost that much at AEW on PLE. So, is what it is. But
and again, for you, this is a Ricky match that could or could not be incredibly important to his career. So like
exactly
for you as a fan, you are getting fans served with the card, which is cool. Like we went to Stand and Deliver before WrestleMania, and for me, I'm like, cool. I get to see Roxanne versus Lyra. Yeah, I get to see Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker as a tag team. Yeah, the triple threat with Oba, Dijak, and the guy who can't wrestle. Like, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams fucking blow off match. Like, this is cool. We're gonna go for the sake of, but this card looks dope. So there's a fan service to those things, and if Ricky wasn't on that card, you wouldn't go, right? Like you wouldn't go because you don't have to. But like,
if he was not in the match that he's in, no,
you'd still go. You just might not sit front row.
No, I wouldn't go at all. I'd wait. I would go to when it's closer. Arizona. I would have gone to Halloween Havoc.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to Florida. I hate Florida. Florida. So I said I can only stand it once a year because it was like, okay. But, I feel that, I went to Stand and Deliver. That was the only, WWE WrestleMania show I went to. Had I known really, I would have stayed till Tuesday and done NXT, but didn't do that. So fine, whatever. I have a job to do. You have to work, if I want to fucking do this shit, you have to work, and God forbid if I had a child, we would not be going to any of this shit. None whatsoever.
Dude, you talked about it. It's easier to not be a fan than it is to be a fan. And when you start trying to make it harder and more expensive to be, like you've splintered all the stuff, you've priced everybody out. Toys are fucking $30 a pop now. You know what I mean? Like,
unless you wait for them to go on clearance.
And the video game is $70.
And the worst about the video game being $70 is it used to be that they would have one single deluxe version that came with collectibles that was like 130, 140. sometimes, but you got shit and you had the whole game and everything in it. Now there's 4 different deluxe versions with different packages that are exclusive characters. So it's like, well, if you want the Undertaker, it's this one that's 120. If you want NWO, it's this one it's 120. If you want both, you got to buy both games. You can't just get.
Yeah.
They're not going to release those. Those are exclusive to that deluxe package. And so they've made it so now you got to pick and choose all the stuff too, where it's all like, what happened to just being able to be a fan and enjoy the whole thing? Yeah, they've made it quite difficult.
That's where I'm like right now. I'm missing the fact that I used to work at a hotel that 2K Games would put the mocap for NBA and WWE and the hockey, the NHL stuff. And they used to give me all those fucking games. Or if you don't mind, if it's not in the thing, they gave me the download codes. I'm like, fuck yeah. You know, so I had gotten one year. It was for NBA 2K. It was something, and it had that year they had a special Kobe edition that was like almost like $250. That's the one he gave me, and my brother was like, "How much did you pay for that?" I said, "That was free." And he goes, "What?" He said, "That's like $250." I go, "Well, enjoy."
Well, I think the clip of this entire show is like what Mark said, that it's way easier to not be a fan than it is. And if we don't rest on our little child that loves this stuff, then we just fucking do something else. You know, but we find ways to want to like it, want to watch it. We're asking them right now, we're literally asking them, help us spend our money. You know, make it more easy for us to spend our money. Right. Like
money you don't have.
And we don't even have to get political and mention how difficult it is in America now economically. Like, it's not easy, and we're not the only country that has low middle class, upper middle class issues on spending money. Like other countries too, and they're worldwide, right? They just did a UK tour, and if you listen to UK wrestling podcasts, they're saying the same shit we are. How the fuck do they expect to sell out this arena? You know, at these kind of prices? Nobody said these are U2 prices. These are whatever prices. Like they say that shit all the time, and it's crazy what they're trying to do, and they do it, and they do it unashamed. And honestly, like Mar said, they say the quiet part out loud, and they just put it right in your fucking face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'm lucky that all in was $110 with the fees. No, actually, it was $115 with the fees. All in, the original all in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm saying, what year is that? You're talking about 13 years
2018.
ago.
2018.
Yeah. We just talked about how prices were not this high in 2022.
No, they kind of were. It depends on what you were going to.
Come on, Amanda, get it together.
No, seriously. Yeah,
no, they weren't.
How much was
I was
Market
watching WWE, so I couldn't tell you. So I had the wannabe. I was watching the wannabe version.
Ring of Honor.
I thought their tickets were kind of high when they came here.
Was there anything on wrestling that you wanted to go over today?
Yeah, there's lots of things. Oh my!
I didn't notice a lot.
Well, you know, a lot of big things. So she's back. Want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, AJ Lee.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to be shocked or not. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think they wanted anyone to be shocked.
Well, I'm kind of shocked in the sense that I didn't think she'd really come back, but I'm really shocked in the fact that she actually signed a deal. It's not one. I thought it was going to be a one-off, one or two, maybe.
No, she's there to play along.
And I forgot how much I hated her character.
I don't mind her character. I didn't mind her promo. I did mind that the segment was like 40 minutes for no fucking reason.
I did, because then Phil came out, and I'm like, oof.
Well, so, I mean, the whole segment was just, it went on just being ever, and not a lot happened. That part bothered me, but I didn't mind her character or the way she was talking. I still didn't see anything that makes me think that they're actually together.
Exactly.
Well, the funny thing is, she jumps on him, gives him a big hug, and right when it looks like she might kiss him, they cut the camera.
Yeah.
they pan to somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Beard? You must be gay. I swear to God, Like,
My wife literally thinks she's gay.
could
Yeah,
be.
I'm pretty sure.
Could
Yeah, I
be.
haven't seen anything that convinces me otherwise.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
I tell
That
you what,
could be a Colt
I-
Cabana reason.
my biggest takeaway.
Who is this? Saleh _
What show are you talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
right now? We're
Oh,
talking
Raw.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Talking about
talking
Raw.
about AJ
Raw
Lee
right now.
combined. We're talking about the AJ Lee experience from Friday and Raw, but mostly Raw because that's where she did her thing.
Yeah.
My overall biggest takeaway from AJ Lee literally is the lost art of being able to fucking promo. She
Yeah.
hasn't been in a ring in 10 fucking years
Mhm.
and did not suck on the microphone.
Well,
No.
And
it's her old man.
we have people who have been in NXT for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years and have not had the ability to stand there, control the microphone, and tell your fucking story. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. AJ Lee sounded good in that promo, and I understood what's going on.
Yeah.
And Becky took forever, and I didn't understand what the fuck she was talking about.
I kind of was like, Becky, you're really handicapped in this.
I didn't think she would be, but again, it also came. We talked about it before. I'm less excited about the idea of someone coming back to have a program with Becky than I am about the idea of them coming back. I like AJ Lee. I always have. I was impressed by her on the promo. I'm not excited for anything she's doing because of who she's involved with. I'm already like, this already feels not great. It says AJ Lee said she's hot. Not gonna lie, dude. She looks incredible.
Yeah, she looks great. Her six pack is popping like crazy.
When I look at her right now, I have to take the personal out of it because I look at her and I'm just like, you're the fucking one. You're the one that started this shit.
Well, that's back when crazy was her superpower.
I don't care if it was crazy.
And
it's like, bitch, that's his fucking best friend. If he wants to come over every fucking day, let him. Okay? Let him. The fucking couch has the fucking imprint of his ass.
That's gross.
Probably. I don't know. I'm just saying he's there every day and he had a spot that he sat in. It's like none of his other girlfriends ever minded that. You know, sorry he came and did his laundry at your place.
Are we reviewing what was on TV or what was on a podcast from 35 years ago?
Both.
Podcast 35 years ago.
This has been 4 years of Amanda defending Colt Cabana on air.
5 almost.
Almost 5.
Almost 5.
Yes, I apologize.
It is 5. Actually,
it probably is 5.
It is 5.
It is 5.
It is 5.
It is 5. Yeah, because I just hit my 5 year too. Yeah.
It is 5.
Yeah, 5 years. So half of you defending Colt Cabana wasn't on this show, and the other half has been on this show. Look, I get it. Look, I appreciate you taking the personal part out because that allows you to watch the performance and go, the entire roster needs to step the fuck up because, yes, and we agree, Becky's goated in this household, right? Like, but when in this particular moment, Mania forward, Becky has been dropping the fucking ball. And it's not just the ball. Becky has the fucking torch. She's the standard bearer of the women's division. She was the standard bearer of the WWE for so long because anything outside of Roman wasn't worth watching, but you were watching Becky.
Yeah.
Help get Bianca to that fucking level. And now, where are we? And Becky is dropping that ball. And you're absolutely right. But if I can watch AJ Lee for this, and see how Becky holds her own. If she doesn't, then I might be an AJ Lee fan coming out of this.
Well, also,
I'm saying in the promo itself, I already felt like Becky was not.
No.
It feels to me like Becky feels like she's performing for a child.
Yeah.
I rewatched Raw today just to see if I'm like way off on this. Every time Becky talks and does anything, it's way over the top. She's performing for the back row, but the back row is children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even when they had her walking in with Seth, the camera shows up and it's and she runs off. And you're all like, it's so unnatural. It's so exaggerated. It's so childish. It looks like you're trying to make your kid laugh. And then when she talks in her promos, she doesn't talk like she used to talk. Yeah. She used to talk like she was talking to people. I am the man. I am the reason that we're here.
We'll
Now
just
when
read
she
it
does,
and who cares?
Yeah.
sure, I don't know what you said because I couldn't hear you over me, but trying to talk. But now when she talks, it's very much all like, oh, what do we? But oh no, don't you? No. And it comes across cartoonish and
Yeah.
like a Disney villain. You know what I mean?
Her outfit was.
But you know what I mean? And I mean the outfits. I get that that's their gimmick, and I give them the free pass on the looking ridiculous bit, but I don't like it. But I'll give them the free pass on you look like a goof, and then the taking off the sunglasses and then and then trying to put them back on in a way no one would.
Yeah, that was
You know
stupid.
what I mean? That's what I mean. Like it's watching her now feels like I'm watching someone perform for a child, and it used to feel like I was watching a pro wrestler fucking rule the realm where she wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Like it's so unnatural. And like you said, she's goated in this house. She's iconic in this house. If you ask me to get a tattoo of somebody, she's on my list that I would have to consider, right? Now, portrait or otherwise, that would all be a consideration. Why are we talking portrait? Are we talking signature? Are we talking some sort of relic? Are we talking, what are we talking about, right? Right? Be in my list.
Gears. Just put a couple gears.
Couple of gears.
Yeah,
I've actually thought about filling up this arm with just signatures of people I've met. You know what I mean? And she'd be a signature I would get on in a heartbeat. She'd be one of the first. Well, Becky and Bailey got to go right here. Then probably John Cena. You know what I mean? Like, then I would start trying to figure out who I got, right?
Don't be greedy. You already have a photo with him. I don't have that. Don't be greedy about John Cena.
Oh, I know.
I have an autograph.
But,
and 2 ass touches.
But she's coming across so childish, it's becoming hard to watch what she's up to. Even Seth sounded better after she was talking, and he was not saying anything that made a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It sucks because to me, she is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
And like you said, I feel like that
her gimmick when she was a heel against Bianca was I'm better than you, Bianca. Right?
Yeah.
And it was about her ability to be dominant in this arena called wrestling. Against that person standing across from her, which made the babyface comeback so much easier, right? It's like, well, she was telling the truth the whole time, but she got what she deserved because she was being an asshole to this person who also is as good when it gets to that point. But as you've mentioned several times, when you try to play us, when you're playing to us to show us that you're the bad guy, hey, look at me, I'm doing the bad guy things. Look at me. I'm a coward. I'm doing the coward things. I'm not going to be in the ring because I'm scared of you. Like, being that over the top in your performance does take away from, because again, I've said it a million fucking times. You don't tell me I suck. Now I boo you. No, you do everything. Let me watch. And then I go, you suck. You don't tell me to tell you that you suck. No, I say that you suck because of what you did. I don't react based on what you say about me. You can call me whatever the fuck you want, because if it's not true, it's not fucking true. If 5 people in the arena, which I know it's not true, Amanda, don't wear deodorant, and you say this whole crowd stinks, well, it's not true. Only 5 people stink, right?
No,
so like,
it's more than 5.
I know. But
I can't let that one go.
I can't let that one go. No, I can't let a lot of things go.
I tried to preface it. But no, seriously, like, they should literally be acting, performing as if they're in a snow globe.
Yeah.
You know, don't talk to us. Hear the, when LA Knight does his thing, right? He's doing that to bring us all into what the next thing he's going to do. That's different than Becky going, and Albuquerque sucks. Well, the fuck did we do to you?
Yeah. And your team sucks, and I hate this town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not what we're here for. You don't need to tell me that all these things suck for me to boo you. No, go be a dick, and then I'll boo you. Don't be a dick to me.
I'm not. I think that once Elias got the Seattle boos the way he did, I think because he did it. He did it also in a clever way. He goes, that whatever it was, he goes, it makes no sense. It makes as little as Seattle having a basketball team, which was hot on the heels of all of it because of all the shit with the Starbucks guy, right?
Yeah.
But he said it in such a way that was like, for those of us who aren't even there, we're like, ooh, that's fucking crazy to say that. But that reaction he got was so big that I felt like at that moment, everyone should have said, okay, no more. We've retired it. There's no more talking shit about teams because you'll never get a bigger reaction than that. And everything after that sounds forced.
Right.
I mean, it's said you're begging me to boo you. And I don't know that that's what I'm on board to do is just boo you because you want me to. You got to make me want to, you know?
Well, that was my thing with the John Cena character. Like you said in the beginning, right? That's what he was doing. He's picking on the fans to get the fans to boo and all this shit. And then by like week 3, he turned into that asshole and was a performing asshole, right? He wasn't just picking on every crowd all the time to get the boos. That's again the essence of what this is. We're fucking old, all of us, right?
Yeah.
Like we're too old to just play those games. I don't need to. I've never done it. I've never sat in the crowd and booed a wrestler because they said something about the crowd. For what? No, it's nothing.
As a kid, I didn't even understand it.
It's not true. Right. Like I will do what's true. If you say, if Becky goes, AJ Lee, you've been gone for 10 years and I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. Like you have to say something to the person. The fucking what the fuck? Who's the last person that she just said that shit to? The fucking or the Tiffany Stratton line, right? When Tiffany Stratton goes and you're gonna be against me like you are in your marriages. What's that? 0 for 3? Like, oh shit, that's just like that's crazy. Like the reaction comes from what you say to the person, not what you say to us.
Yeah.
And
like I said, as a kid,
yeah.
well, and you were saying that like we're too old for it, and I'm saying as a kid, I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? Every time a heel would come on TV and say something shitty about this hellhole town, it was almost like they don't. Why do they travel so much if they don't like anywhere they go? Like, I was just confused as a kid. I was all like, well, what's wrong with Philadelphia? Why do they hate it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So they only like their hometown? I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't get it as a kid, and as an adult, I think it's tired and played out. So for me, it's lose-lose.
Yeah.
And it's also not memorable.
We can't all be Drew McIntyre, okay? All can't be a bitter Betty. Does it very, very well. So
right. But even then, like, the only one I remember was from Bret Hart as a kid. When he said that, what was it, Jersey was where you'd hook up the septic tank for America?
Yeah.
And that was fucking clever. And I remember laughing at that. And that's the only one I remember as a kid. But I remember Keels talking shit about cities all the time. It's not memorable. It doesn't stick. And it's lazy and worthless. So, like, yeah, at this point, I'm watching AJ Lee and I'm going like, man, she's solid. She can fucking talk. And she's got the mannerisms and she's comfortable and she's moving in ways that you kind of like, as physically, you're like, she's light on her feet. You know what I mean? And then everyone else is in there. I'm going, I don't know that anyone belongs in the story with her right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens when AJ Lee actually has to wrestle.
The problem is she has to wrestle Becky. And I don't want to say that in a bad way, but when was the last great Becky match? And when was the last person who came back to have a match with Becky and it paid off? Nikki Bella just had a match with Asuka on Raw. And it was fucking good.
It was fucking awesome.
I was shocked.
It was awesome.
After seeing her,
it fucking broke my heart. It broke my heart because again, when Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky came up and they formed 3 different trios. They had PCB, they had Team Bella, and they had Beautiful and Dangerous, right? Those 3 teams were to showcase, to get you to the women's evolution, all this shit. I'm watching all this stuff. I'm listening to Sam Roberts' podcast. I'm listening to the audience, all this shit. I'm using my eyes. And a reason why I started this fucking podcast is I take what I see on TV. I saw Becky and I go, that fucking girl can wrestle. She's going to be the future of this fucking thing. And I said that before anyone even heard me talk on a microphone. And I was so pissed I didn't have a podcast at that time because I've never been more right about wrestling. When I saw her and I go, she's going to be the fucking future of women's wrestling. Because you could see she had the whole fucking package. And we talked about it on episode 1. Becky versus Nikki was so bad. And as much as Nikki was in essence, John Cena, you can wrestle of the women's division, she put on a fucking amazing performance with Asuka on Raw. Asuka's an incredible wrestler as well. Let's never forget how amazing Asuka is.
But that blew me away.
That Asuka Nikki match is literally in the top 5 of women's matches this year, if not top 3. It was so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. They did a fucking amazing job. So shouts to Nikki for having a fucking fantastic match in 2025.
Yeah.
Well, right before it came on, and then I want to hear Amanda's opinion on the matchup, other than I know that she liked it. Right before it came on, I looked at producer lady and I was like, this is going to be a big tell on Becky. It's like, if this match is what I have a feeling this match is going to be with Asuka, it's going to look real bad for Becky, because Becky could not make it work with Nikki. And if Asuka can in this environment, then it's gonna highlight that Becky couldn't do it. But yeah, the match I thought went great. We kept watching and we kept going like, "No, this is really good, right?" Like, what the fuck's going on? What did you think of Asuka and Nikki?
Well, the first thing when I saw that was going to happen, I'm like, oh God, we already had this shitty Becky match. Oh Lord, don't do that to Asuka. That was my first opinion.
Oh.
And I said, this might be painful to watch. Do I watch it? And I said, okay, I'll give it a try, because honestly, my thought about Becky and Nikki's match was like, damn, she reverted back into the olden days of the Bella twins, when they really did the twin magic all the time, and they were just like eye candy in the Divas days. I was like, oh, I'm like, wow, we've really regressed. You shouldn't have come back. Then I'm watching this one and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I had to like double take a couple of times and rewind, because I was like, no, that's not Nikki Bella. Are we kidding me? Is this CGI? Is this AI? Are they doing AI matches now? And I was blown away. I'm like, what the hell? And then it made me think of, is Becky just there, just there because she's there? I mean, she doesn't have to be there. It's like, I would think you are there because you want to be there, but it just doesn't seem like it. And I was like, wow, Nikki Bella really wants to be there, and she's making the most of her comeback. But it's like, man, I'm now like, I don't want anybody to really wrestle Becky, because it's going to be a shit show.
It doesn't put a lot of trust in me for this AJ match coming up. The fact that they're going to end up with the fucking tag match at first just tells you that where they're going to go with it next.
Yep. Because
it's going to be what it is. And I just, like I said, the only issue I have with AJ Lee coming back is that this is the story that she's back for. And I think at this point, I don't have a ton of the equity. I don't think that Becky's given us the equity to say you can give people this match they deserve and earn. Like I said, with Natty and Trish.
Yeah.
Natty gave Trish what was supposed to be her retirement match in Toronto, and she went on about it. And then Becky started saying things in interviews where, I want to retire Trish. I don't think it should have been the way that it was. And then she went and had a really good match with Lita the first time. And then when Trish came back, they had a messy match. And then Lita comes back and it gets worse and worse. And now we're watching, her hold the tag title with her childhood hero quote. And the matches are all horrible and the story's no good. And you're kind of like, what the fuck are we doing here? So like, now I'm seeing this going like, I don't know that I trust that this is going to turn out well, but it is cool to see AJ Lee back. And I think she's doing fucking awesome. And all I can hope is that contract is more than a 6 month, you're doing a Becky storyline while you're here, and actually a 1 or 2 years where we can get to whatever's next. Because whatever's next, I think is going to be the big thing that we're all going to remember and talk about.
I have one hopeful instance, and I don't fantasy book, but the way AJ went out is the way I would like her to go out again, and that's against Paige. There is the fact that I got back into wrestling in 2015 when AJ left, and her last feud was against Paige, and then they became frenemies before she walked off. I know nothing about AJ Lee except for her entrance music is so fucking annoying because it gets stuck in my head.
I love it.
It's just
To
always
this day, when I played my favorite entrance music, I always look up Light It Up.
it is fucking that late 80s, early 90s jazzercise music that like I grew up in the house because that's what my mom would fucking do. Like whatever was pumping in the background, fucking thing. Like I swear, like it gets stuck in my head. But that's what I would love to see come out of this, and I think it would give Paige, if she's allowed to wrestle, I don't know, like some retribution on what happened with the AEW angle and everything she went through over there, because I thought she was dog shit in her performances over there. But I want to see my favorites do good work. Like you said, like the fact that, again, I believe I said it on episode 1, Tiffany Stratton, if you watch Tiffany Stratton versus Trish and you just look at Tiffany Stratton during the entire match, whether she's on offense or defense, you can see the amount of work she's putting in to make sure Trish doesn't look like a fool. And Becky's not that wrestler anymore, and that's a problem because she's working with legends and she needs to carry these matches because she's supposed to be the one here. And even her Lyra matches were spotty at best, and unfortunately, again, Becky goated in this household. I have 3 Becky shirts, a Becky hat, a Becky book. Like I am a Becky guy, and I 5 Becky shirts. Four Becky shirts because I got an NBEX t-shirt too. I love her performance ability, and when you see those abilities not be met, we don't need A+ across the board. A C+ is okay, roll it up with a B in the next match because you can. But to give these D's and honestly, that Nikki match was a fucking F. Like, come on. So AJ Lee going forward, regardless of what it is, you're right, Marsh. She deserves. And I said it about Nikki, right? Before the match against Asuka. I said it about Nikki last week on episode 1. I thought Nikki, since she's been back, has done nothing to embarrass herself and deserves to leave this company, leave this business to go be whatever she wants at a level because of how much she's meant to the business. And you see what AJ means to the business. She deserves to go out with grace, dignity, however the fuck she wants. She doesn't deserve to go out and dog shit. So if Nikki's last match is against Asuka at WrestleMania and it looks like it did on Monday, then we will clap Nikki off and thank her for what she's done.
Absolutely.
So hopefully AJ gets that treatment, and we'll see.
You would think she would.
Look, maybe Becky hears everything that other people are saying as well, not just us idiots right here, right? Maybe Becky hears the chatter and goes, you know what?
That's what I was saying. Other people are saying it too. Sports Illustrated said it.
Sports Illustrated. Yeah. And then the one who's
I really love that, by the way.
Yeah. The new
It's not just me, it's Sports Illustrated. I love that gimmick for her.
Yeah. And then the new current, New York Times bestseller says it said it too.
Dude, my favorite thing about the New York Times bestseller gimmick, for one, it's not what it used to mean.
No.
Because book sales are so low now.
Yeah.
That being a bestseller would not even get you on the list like in Mick Foley's day. When Mick Foley became the New York Times #1 bestseller, it was a massive deal.
Yeah.
And I remember even in class, I was able to review it because I was able to say it's a New York Times #1 bestseller. Yeah. And my teacher was all like, well, any book that makes it there is definitely worth reading.
Yeah.
That's not the same stipulation anymore. You can't just say that because almost every book that comes out is a bestseller because the way the books are released now are inconsistent and incongruent. And the numbers it takes to reach that are not what they used to be because you have to be the bestseller, it's not like a platinum album. You don't have to sell 1 million. You just have to sell more than other books that week. You know what I mean?
Did you know? And I don't remember when this transition happened or if it still exists, but I did hear this from an author. I just don't remember which one. New York Times bestseller is off pre-orders. So if you can get the bookstores to order your book in a volume greater than others, you will automatically make the list before retail purchases happen.
Yeah.
So you can in essence buy your way on through marketing to get the distribution to create yourself to be New York Times bestseller just based off the bookstores obtaining your book. But now with some that are, or most books now are, 50% distribution of digital before hard copies even come out. I'm sure that metric is off, like you said, Marsh. But yeah, like I heard that a couple years ago. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, so I could now, if I get enough hype, all I need to do is get the pre-orders and I'm on the list. That's fucking crazy.
I mean, it's part of the natural beauty of wrestling fandoms was that you were kind of always guaranteed a certain level after that. I mean, you look at it now. Look at the people with their OnlyFans. They all want to pretend they're self-made, but they all came through WWE and got a built-in fan base. You're a New York Times bestseller now, baby. Like, hey, that's not because of you. Hey, if you were just on the farm and open up an OnlyFans, people aren't gonna buy it. They're buying it because of who you used to be.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah, all that stuff's weird. But that's just to enjoy that part of Get Becky's gimmick. I do feel like that part of Get Becky's gimmick is intentional and self-aware. She is just quoting Donald Trump, which is funny to me. So I know that part is
without the list, right?
Yeah. So I think that yeah,
everyone else says it. Yeah.
saying it. And so that's what makes me enjoy that bit is it's funny, but there is also a certain point where you go like, all right, what are we doing? And it's just it. The rest of the stuff's not to me carrying the weight, So I don't know. I'm excited for AJ Lee though. Couldn't care less about Punk, Seth, or Becky in this story at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will say I agree with that 1,000,000%. Like it's almost like how the like the Billboard charts. That's the other one that really doesn't make sense anymore because it's like, okay, nowadays music is distributed differently, right?
Yep.
So for many, many years, okay, I would say from the year 2000 to 2015, the person or whatever that held that number one spot of most albums sold like the first week of release was NSYNC, 2.4 million. And that was all CDs, right?
Yeah.
And then the one who beat it is Adele. And I'm like, but that's downloads.
Right.
Okay, that's not the same. It's not.
That's true. It is a lot cheaper to download something than it was to buy a CD. So the investment's not the same.
I will tell you the day that
you don't have to go in your car to get to the store and wait in line and miss out on your copy. You go to the store, it's already sold out, so you got to go to a different store.
I was on the Big Island. I went to goddamn Walmart. I remember it. It was goddamn fucking March 21st. I had to have that. I was like, oh, and then they didn't even put it out on the shelf. And so me and then these other people were mad. And I'm like, I need to get this right now because I got to go.
Remember that.
Yeah, I got to go.
That's right. They used to have new releases in the back just to make sure they all didn't just get grabbed up. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, we're old. We're old. And let me tell you, the minute I got in the car, as I was walking to the car, I was unwrapping it because the car had a CD player, the rental car. And I was like, boom, we're listening to this all day. I'm going to listen to it on the way home on my Discman. That aged me. But, I mean, shit. Like that was the thing. I mean, I actually conned somebody to sell me something that was supposed to be released before it was before the release that night at midnight. Yeah. they were kind of dumb, so they didn't know. But of course it was NSYNC. But anyways, no, I mean it's a total different thing. So I mean things are so different. But again, AJ Lee, it'll be very interesting to see. We'll see. Now, her theme song does stick in your head. I'll also say too that her husband's sticks in my head. But you know what? To be fair, I like that song. I liked Living Color.
Well, it's a real song. Yeah, I said that about Jericho's song too. Like you don't get credit for having a dope song if it's someone else's real song.
Yeah, and my big thing was like, holy shit! Like we had that album on cassette. That dates me.
Yeah.
And that album was actually Vivid was actually a very good album. No lie.
I honestly never loved the song itself. I didn't have a problem with it, but now the association with Punk. Yeah. Now when I hear it on the radio, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm like Phil Brooks' song. That's what I call it. Yeah. But it was more of the thing of like I remember seeing their video on MTV, and I was like, these guys are black. Same with like Milliman. These guys are black.
Yeah.
What? But yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, that'll be very interesting to see. Speaking of interesting to see, this weekend is Worlds Collide 2 in Las Vegas. I will say
Friday night, right after
Friday.
SmackDown.
I think it's Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday.
It's gonna be Friday night after SmackDown on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. I will say this: I am actually very interested in this, because of the last time with people booing the Kingo. That I don't understand. I don't understand that. But that's going to be an interesting match. But the one I'm really looking forward to, and they kind of alluded to it on NXT this week, was Fabi Apache was part of the speed tournament. And she was there, and then Natalia was there, dressed in, in the whole natty, the braids, the black, the whole thing. So
the Legend Killer.
Yeah, the Legend Killer.
Or Low-Key Legend.
Low-Key Legend. Low-Key Legend.
Low-Key Legend. Yeah. And Vic was saying, wonder what Natalia we're going to get on Friday. Of course, Booker's the wrong person to be asking the question to, because I think he just was like, I
would bet we're going to get the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
No, he didn't even do that. He just went off on some other tangent, and I think Vic ended up answering the question himself. So I'm like, okay, God, I miss Corey, but he's doing a lot of duty right now. And if things are true, can we please have Stu back?
What do you mean if things are true?
Oh, about like he said that he's on vacation, and this was a scheduled vacation, and other people are saying it's because of the comment he made about Nikki Bella on air.
What did he say about her? I forget.
I can't remember either. Do you know, Marsh?
He said something along the lines about her not supposed to be in that match or something, or could she hold up or something? But I will say that I could tell you with pretty firm confidence that he was scheduled this for a long time.
Yeah. So I'm like, Stu's not that kind of dude, like he wouldn't. He doesn't strike me as someone who would do that, because my thing is, if you're going to give Stu shit for saying something, there's other people who've said a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're a little bit more disgusting.
Yeah, but Booker T for sure. The way he's fucking gross when it comes to talking about women. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, no. So that match I'm really kind of looking forward to see, because Fabi Apache is she's great.
So Natty, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, Natty did put an X, Natty put the fight card up, put an X over top of Natalia, and said you could, something to the fact of like, you would only hope that Natalia would show up.
Oh shit.
So I believe we're getting Natty at Worlds Collide.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Because I will tell you, man, when I saw her at Bloodsport, I know I've said this on episode 1, holy fuck, that was amazing. Like that's the one thing I think I'm looking forward to for Mania, is seeing Bloodsport again, because I know she's going to do that again, and that was just fucking great. She was so fucking good and so dominant. It was fucking great. So I mean, but I'm excited to see that. I'm just curious about like what the whole Vikingo thing with Dominic Mysterio is going to be. It's like, please don't fucking give Dominic that fucking belt.
It's gonna be interesting because it's weird. It's weird to see how the fans have been reacting to Vikingo and how they're reacting to Dom, because they're like taking to Dom really well. You know what I mean? They're taking to Grande really well, but they're like not all for this homegrown talent that fucking. It's so weird.
I just tagged you guys in what Natty did to the fight card.
Yeah, I think that the AAA tag team is going to be interesting. Psycho Clown and Pagano versus New Day.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be very interesting. That should be a very, very good one. I could care less about the Latin American Fatal 4-Way. It's a weird combination. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., JD McDonough, Ethan Page, and Dragon Lee.
So again, another AAA title match with 3 WWE wrestlers.
Yes, correct. And then even the Lucha Showcase match is La Parca, Masquerita, Sagrada, Octagon Jr., and Nino Hamburguesa.
Is that cheeseburger?
It's a Mexican.
Junior cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's a Mexican
Junior
cheese.
hamburger. What's
Yeah.
Nino?
Yeah, I think, I don't know.
Or son of a hamburger.
Mhm. Yep. Versus LWO, and then they have a mini too. Mini Abismo Negro. I don't know who that is.
I mean, minis are dope.
Minis are dope. That's all. Fucking midget wrestling, man, is a big thing. That's a big thing with Lucha Libre. You need,
Look, and even for kids, I swear on everything. That Survivor Series where it was Doink, Dink, Pink, and Wink versus Jerry Lawler and his mini fucking Royal Army or whatever the fuck was fucking awesome. I will never forget that fucking match. I might have got the names wrong, but that was like the best. And what's the greatest one? Sorry, what's one of the best ladder matches of all time? Right, the WLC.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a place for it, and we don't see enough of it. We don't see enough of it.
No, but if you
love
go,
little guys wrestling.
Yeah, if you go to friend of the show, because there's a guy around where Roy Lucier is and where he lives up near Sacramento, who has a lot of the midget wrestling shows. And unfortunately, they're not in a family friendly, usually, place. I wish they would, because kids fucking get a kick out of that. But they do the midget wrestling. And then there's Micromania during WrestleMania week. That's always
There's a whole little people federation that comes through that one again.
Mm-hmm. They don't mind you saying midgets. I think it was Hornswoggle who said that. Dylan Postel said that. In wrestling, it's acceptable to call them midgets.
Well, it was part of the thing, but I'm saying I don't remember that being part of the advertisement for the one. That's why I didn't say it. Because if they advertise themselves a certain way, I'm fine with that. But I don't remember how they advertised themselves. To the
Well, also to be fair and not really skate on PC, when you look at athletics, midgets the division. Like it's part of the growth rate of the sport. Like in weight classes, right? You have heavyweight, you have cruiserweight, you have light heavyweight. All this, and midget is a section of it. It just so happens to be, put in that path for discrimination as well. So
kind of like juniors.
So like in that same context, like Amanda's 1000% correct. Like when it comes to the wrestling industry, it's just always been there. But it is also nice to sound. And I know it's not what you're doing, Marsh, because we are respectful of everyone on this show. But like to feel like you're making an error by calling it midget wrestling, like. You're not, because that's what it is, but it also is, they're little guys and
the little guys.
They're dope.
Dude, the little lucha dudes, holy shit, that's a whole other
El Torito. El Torito
is fucking nuts.
Microman, and he's over as a motherfucker.
Yeah,
El Torito,
I got to see him live in Phoenix.
Those guys, they were awesome too.
Oh yeah,
you got to see him live.
Yeah, Microman came out to Phoenix on that show I went to see Sam a while back, and he was fucking super over. Yeah, he was with GCW.
Yeah.
He just did his first ever meet and greet. Did you see that?
I saw that. I'm like, people
awesome.
love him. Like he was loved at Janela's spring break. The only shitty part was, and this is why I didn't get to see Sam, because they made them sell their merch across the fucking casino. It was annoying because I'm like, I don't know who's here. Like, why couldn't you just sell the merch in the lobby? Fucking Murder Grandpa ended up putting a table out there and was like selling pictures and shit in the lobby because he gives no fucks. Then who would tell him no? I sure
was
would.
So mad. I could have got to Jerry's autograph for $10. I had no cash. He didn't take card or cash app. I was like, it's fucking $10 for the Japanese buzzsaw. Like, I would love to give him money, but I couldn't. I literally had no cash.
Yeah, I know. That's what I hate about shows.
It was in the lobby just signing stuff. It was awesome. But
yeah, I never carry cash. And then the last match that we did not talk about is the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez versus because you have to have Mr. Iguana on the card, okay? Because talk about family friendly, okay? That you cannot get more family friendly than Mr. Iguana, okay?
It's true.
And then we have to pay like $1 million to go see. Now, I will say that the ticket prices for Worlds Collide, the first one that they did in LA, were very, very reasonable. I didn't look to see how much they are for Vegas, but you know, who knows? So it's almost like some of these offshoots. You're like, oh, you can make it cheaper, you know, or whatever. Oh, and his partner's Lola Vice. Before I forget, so that'll be a very good card. No Grande Americano listed. He'll probably make an appearance somewhere where I don't know. That'll be interesting to see where he pops up.
Maybe helping Dominic, yeah.
He could be helping Dominic. That's what I'm thinking.
Pushing that, yeah.
Yeah, and that could maybe start being a catalyst that starts the disintegration of the Judgment Day. Who knows? Who knows? So that'll be very, very interesting to see. So that's coming up. Let's see what else is coming up. The next week is NXT Homecoming at Full Sail. Again, they sold tickets to this. And again, I'm like, it's going to be the same damn motherfuckers trying to get themselves over that go for free. See, this is why I'm like, you need to spread it. You know, if you're going to gouge people, let's gouge these guys. Okay. They're spoiled. Talk about entitlement. They get for free.
Yeah, most of them are free. Yeah.
For free. That's not fair. And then their house shows are fucking like nothing. You can take a fucking whole family. I could probably buy out the whole house with the amount of money I'm paying for, you know, some of these things, you know? And then it's like, man, it's private fucking house show. Invitation only. You know? I mean, just it's ridiculous. And then of course, what's after that? Oh yeah, and then the next week is also ESPN?
Yeah, WrestlePalooza.
WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, it's the 20th. We'll have a show before that.
No, I know we will. Yeah. Unless you want to come in, bitch. You can always NXT, because I know Marsh isn't going to watch NXT because, you know.
Well, I can't watch NXT. It's just hard to watch. But I don't think I'm going to be able to watch WrestlePalooza because I don't have ESPN.
I don't even know how I'm going to watch WrestlePalooza because I'm like, I would think that because my mom pays for fucking Hulu Live and it's expensive, that I would have that.
I can double check because I know some people are going over it. Like YouTube Live and Hulu Live, one of them comes with ESPN, one of them does not. I don't know.
I want to say it's Hulu because that's part of the bundle because they're all owned by fucking Disney.
Yeah, but that came with ESPN Plus, which is not the ESPN app. Because I have ESPN Plus through my Hulu stuff too, Disney Hulu and ESPN Plus, but does not include
the live though. When you have Hulu Live,
yeah, that might have the other ESPN app.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it might.
But
I don't know because we have a bunch of ESPNs. I'm like, what? Who needs?
I'm not worried about it. Yeah. I got other ways to watch.
Oh, I know. There's other ways to watch too. You know?
I just don't believe in that as a fucking concept. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like I said, it's why I don't watch the NFL. This shit's all over the place and hard to watch. I tried to watch first season, couldn't figure it out, so forget it. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like the VPNs are the answer either. I feel like that's, I mean, it's totally fine. I don't have a problem with people doing it, but realistically, it's fraud, you know? And so I don't feel like I need to go through all of that hassle. You know what I mean? Like we could also just fucking make it available to have fans.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
well, I agree with that. So my reason for saying I have other ways to watch is if us as a world community are going to exist in a way where we can conversate. For instance, if we want to patch in people from Australia, we've done it before, right? We've had people from Australia in the chat on this show. We've had podcasts individually and together with people in the UK. We communicate with people all the time with similar interests around the fucking world. We are a global universe, right? And if the entertainment styles that we want to support make different deals with our friends who we can communicate with like that, it's not my fault I don't live there. Mm-hmm. And because I live here, you want to stop me. I agree with your point. Like, if you're going to make it hard for me to go see you, I'm not going to go see you. But also, don't play me for a fool. And that's the side I take.
Yeah.
You want to play me for a fool? I can only see you if I sign up for ESPN and CW and Netflix and USA to make sure. No. I don't have to do that. Because technology is smarter than your business model, I will use technology to tell your business model to go fuck itself. And that's how I see it. It's like, you're not going to take away something I enjoy because you're the gatekeeper of the thing I enjoy. So that's just kind of how and I agree with you too. Like, it is fraud, it is cheating, it is stealing, it is. But in the construct, I am sitting in my living room watching something that is available in my area. I just didn't do it the way they told me to do it.
Yeah, I just don't have the fight in me to go about that. You know what I mean?
But if you had an
I got a buddy
access-
the same way.
Yeah, but if you had the access and knew somewhere that you can go that it's streaming, would you do it?
I'm not trying to get a virus.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it with UFC, right? Like,
Yeah.
Marsh and I, we both have a semi affinity for what UFC is, right? Like, it's the real version of WWE. We understand combat, we understand martial arts, we do enjoy the thing. There's going to be an uptick in our viewing because we both have Paramount Plus. Therefore, if we are channel surfing or app watching to see whatever's going to happen, oh shit, it's Saturday night, there's nothing else going on, UFC pay-per-view on Paramount, I don't have to pay extra, fuck it, I'm tuning in.
Yeah.
Now, they made it easier for Paramount holders. They made it harder for the people who had just UFC Fight Pass or ESPN Plus and didn't have Paramount. But that's not our cross to bear. But that is the problem, again, not to get political, with the US as a whole, is that we're so capitalistic that, as you see, WWE makes billions of dollars with Netflix, $1 billion deal with USA, $1 billion deal with CW, another $1 billion deal with ESPN Plus. So because they have the ability to go get that, us as the consumer are like, well, I guess we got to pay. They want to raise their ticket prices. I guess we got to pay. But you know what?
You got to stand up.
If you live in the UK, just get Netflix. It's fine. Like, no. I'll pretend like I live in the UK right here because I got buddies in the UK that go, you know what? It's pretty cool. Well, let me check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Push one button. I'm in the UK.
Yeah.
Oi, mate.
Okay. If you want to learn, if you want to,
This is dope, isn't it?
if you want to speak like a Brit, all you need to do is just put some marbles in your mouth. Ooh, bro. Ooh. And he can't stay away. Can't you be injured, Ocean Spray? You're off the TV for indefinitely. Can we be off social media too, please? Thank you.
Yo, does Wardlow hurt? Did he barely come back and get hurt immediately?
Oh, that I don't know. Let me look at that because I'm a little disappointed in Wardlow. I'm not gonna lie, because that was stupid.
Hey, Marsh, remember that episode 1? I came on here, got incredibly drunk, did a horrible British accent, and then basically like ruined my entire life. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh no, he did. He did suffer a significant
really bad.
injury.
About 3 years ago, it was tough. Wait,
Yeah.
Wardlow? I thought you were talking about me. That was really bad.
For his pec.
Whoa.
And he just came back too, right? Like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something
He
like that.
did it the other day. Yeah, he did it the other day.
And wasn't there also a rumor at the time that he wasn't going to be re-signing, and so this was like them extending his contract because he had gotten an injury?
Fuck.
If he fucking immediately got another injury, that would suck for
No,
him so bad.
no. It wasn't
Because
that.
he was filming Gladiators.
Yeah, he was being punished for filming Gladiators. That's what it is. Tony
And then
Khan
they're
likes
gonna-
it that way, but that's
got
really what it
2
is.
years until he can leave.
Yep.
It's crazy because the
Now-
tech's going to be at least 8 months, and then another 8 months on that. There's 16, and who knows how long his actual time left on the
Well, you
contract
know what?
is. That's crazy.
You know what, Bishop? AEW probably is not going to be around by the time he heals. Let's go there.
Why?
Yeah, they did get record low. They got record low viewership
Mhm.
historically, like the worst viewership they've ever gotten in their history. And it wasn't because there was like some sort of weird basketball game or some shit. It just was because that was what they got.
The cards were dealt that way.
Wow.
Oh well, but right now a lot of their top people who are their draws are out on injury.
When was this? Last Wednesday?
Yesterday?
Wednesday and Saturday were both real bad.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
Yeah, because Thursday was NFL and Sunday was NFL. So it was the 2 days before. It wasn't even the days of. That's
No.
crazy.
No, because TNA is the only one who does Thursday. And technically, if you're watching Ring of Honor, that's another one that, if you want to watch that, whatever.
If that's the case, it's not going to get any better. I think NXT just did a shitty number on Tuesday as well. I think they were at 640, might have been what I saw pop up, and they were like in the 8s, 9s.
You know why?
Because Ricky wasn't on.
Exactly. Well, he talked. He talked and, had his fucking big old earrings in looking like fucking Baby New Year. And I'm like, okay, But also, I want to say, to be fair, I think DIY dragged that down too. Nobody wants DIY around.
That's what they do.
I don't. I didn't ask for that.
It's what they do.
I'm like, stay far away. Please stay far away. Go, whatever. I'm like, I'm surprised that you haven't been released yet. Go away. Go away. Please go away. But yes. So, last little bit of cool things that I wanted to share was I did go to West Coast Pro this last Friday.
Oh yeah.
Actually, was very shocked because I saw some pretty good talent that I think we need to keep an eye on. So there is a wrestler. I'd never seen him before. His name is Teriyaki.
Come on.
Seriously. Okay, so the Asian in me.
I really was going to go on the ride. I was thinking about BJ Judge when I saw him at MLW. I was thinking about who's the blonde hair black dude that showed up in AEW? Skinny dude. He's fast.
Cheeseburger.
No. Fuck
No?
his name.
Speedball?
No.
He's not black.
Talking about Nick Wayne?
Marsh doesn't see color. Anyway, I was thinking about these incredible young talents. And this Asian guy, Teriyaki. What the fuck?
Well, no,
What's his gimmick to be General So?
No. So here was the thing.
What's his finishing move? The dumpling?
I saw his name on the poster, right? And it was a little black kid.
What's his tag team called? The Pot Stickers?
Well, I'll tell you about the conversation I had with.
What does he do when he gets a guy in the corner? The chopsticks? The fuck?
You're lucky I'm giving you a yellow pass here. Okay. Now,
I mean, in her defense, she was not a fan of Panda Express when they were in AEW. She did not like them.
But for some reason, I was tickled pink by the Tempura Boys on ROH showing yo. You know what I mean? Because the shirt was really racist. And I'm like, if you're not Asian, you shouldn't be wearing it because it's so racist. And the font, the Chinese to-go box font, it was oh my God. And there was tempura on the goddamn shirt. I think they had I think they were actually wrestlers, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go back and look. I should have bought one of those shirts. I didn't. Big mistake.
So who's Mr. Teriyaki?
Okay, let's talk about teriyaki. So teriyaki, I was offended, of course. First thing, I'm like, what the fuck? A black kid called teriyaki. It's TerryYaki. I'm like, what?
I found him.
Is this right? He was in a 4-way. But this kid,
I'm grabbing another drink, but I'm listening.
Yeah, this kid naturally talented. I mean, he kind of does it all. He's doing, some of that British technical wrestling that I love. Little bit of very controlled, concise, flippy shit. More of on the caliber of a Ricochet versus someone who's very botchy. And he had this one move, and that was, I think it was probably his finisher, but he didn't win the match. But I was like, damn, it was really slick. It was kind of a weird, I don't really know how to describe it because I'm not good at describing like the moves and stuff, but I'll have to show you a clip because Willis filmed it. And we're like, what the hell is that called? We need to name it something, right? And I was like, I don't know, call it top ramen or something.
Hysterical. That's great name.
And so here's what I did, because I'm like, I gotta talk to this kid. So he was selling merch at the halftime, at the intermission, and it's like, I gotta come up to this kid because I need to find out more. Like, why the fuck are you teriyaki? So I was talking to the guy. I said, I just want you to know, because I haven't really not been that jazzed about the indies anymore, because you know what, there hasn't been any talent that I've seen that really says to me, yo, there are actually some really good people out there that are like going to be the future, right? Because that's the kind of shit I love to see,
Right.
you know. And I haven't had that vibe in a very, very long time. Brian Keith was the last one I had, and that's how I felt about Ricky, you know, and Hobbs, and then he went Hollywood. But anyways, so Carl Fredericks, another one. So I said to him, I go, why are you named teriyaki? Are you Asian? Or are you making fun? Because, you know, stop Asian hate. He laughed at me. He goes, nah, dude. He says, I'm actually Korean. And I go, shut the fuck up. He says, totally serious. He said, you know, my mom is black and my dad is white Korean. I go, shut up. He says, yeah. He says, so that's where it is. And I said, damn. And he was like, why? I said, because I'm Korean. So he bonded with me right away. And I was saying, and I'd asked him, I said, you know, that one move you did where the guy kicked out, I thought that you were going to win the thing. Do you have a name for it? He goes, no. I said, dude, you need to call it like Top Ramen or something. I said, but then I was thinking about it later after he told me. So at the end, when I was, because he's like, oh, I need to follow you. And I said, yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. So at the end, I was like, I have an even better name for that, because it was kind of spicy. You need to call it I can't speak. Kokujang, which is that hot sauce, that pasty fucking garlicky hot sauce that Koreans do. He goes, fuck, that's a good idea. I said, dude, you could do it. I mean, yeah. I said, take advantage of that. Fuck, you're already doing that with your name, dude. So I told the guy from West Coast Bar, I go, Scotty, you need to bring
teriyaki is a Japanese sauce.
Yeah, I know that some white person was saying that in the crowd, and I'm like, they go, I don't understand. Isn't that a sauce? I'm like, white lady, don't be commentating, you know, shit. Don't.
It's Japanese is what I'm saying. It doesn't help the situation to be Korean and start naming yourself after Japanese shit.
Well, as Jim Ross would say,
yeah,
you're all Oriental.
You want to fight Oriental? You want to fight the Asian stereotype? He's Korean, calling himself teriyaki, and you're like, come on.
His name, actually, I told him, he was like, my name really is Terry. I go, no, show me ID, kid. He did, and I was like, oh, okay, well then that's acceptable.
So the talent I was thinking of was Myron Reed.
Oh yeah,
I saw it when he was in a ladder match that Tajiri won, and he jumped off the page. But going back to that show, Calvin Takeman stood out, EJ Judge stood out, Alex Kane stood out, Myron Reed, Lee Moriarty. Lee Moriarty. Actually, I think I remember talking to you back then. I mean, it's back in 21. I remember talking to you about Lee Moriarty, and you're like, oh no, he's amazing. I think maybe like a week or two later, he ended up on AEW. And then like maybe 2 years later, Myron Reed showed up. But to your point earlier, just and look, that's MLW, right? So they're a pseudo pro wrestling organization. They're still they operate pretty independently, you know. They just found a TV spot. But to not be able to have access to that kind of talent where you can see something that you really truly want to root for. I agree with you. That's tough. That's tough.
Hasn't been around. And like a lot of them, like with Myron Reed, I thought honestly, Myron Reed and Trey Miguel, those were two.
Yeah.
Also trained, you know, in Dayton. There's some of Sammy Callahan's kids. Hate him all you want, but he knows what he's fucking doing. But
is he the one that just retired?
Yep. He is the one who just retired. But he's been doing backstage shit at TNA for a long time. He still has his promotion, Wrestling Revolver, which I implore you, if he ever does a show around you, he's been doing shows, I think, around you, Bishop. But if you
No,
see,
we're a CZW stronghold around here.
well, I know, but he was in CZW too. He's one of the death
all
match
were.
dudes, the death machine, Sammy Callahan. Hello. Yeah. So, I mean, but I know he does stuff around your area every once in a blue moon. He's got a great show. He's out there, he's handing out tickets. I mean, he's fucking everywhere. And it's incredible because it's like there's promoters out there who don't even give a fuck and you don't even ever see them. But like Sammy is like all over making sure everyone's doing okay, from the cheap seat to the front row. I mean, it's great. But I mean, when you see talents that really kind of are they're special like that, it's kind of cool. So like I went to they're doing another free show where pay as you feel. The wrestlers aren't getting paid. They actually even have to fly themselves out if they're traveling. Lee Moriarty flew himself out and did it, and he's doing it again. And I was like, what? He didn't have to do that. Tim Thatcher was on the card. He had a technical match versus Brett the Threat. That was a fucking great match. But again, it's like when you see some of these kids that have this talent, like I like to see them on the come up because it's like, damn, like look how far they've come.
I was about to say I don't understand how Timothy Thatcher hasn't come back and how they didn't find a way to use him more. But then I remember what happened with Pete Dunne, and I'm like,
he's
oh wait,
coaching. He's coaching though.
What happened with Pete Dunne?
Mm-hmm.
Have you not watched his entire career since Triple H took over?
Oh, you mean as far as usage?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like Thatcher did something to Dunne.
No. I mean, like if you can't figure out if this is how you use Butch and Pete Dunne, then yeah, I don't know if you have an idea for Thatcher.
Didn't Triple H book the fucking Ciampa Thatcher feud?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how does he know how to use them on main roster?
He's the one who booked the Bruiserweight. He's the one who booked fucking Austin Theory. Who was the other guy who was one of his guys in NXT that's now fucking nobody?
Really? Ricochet, one of his guys?
Ricochet was one of his dudes, but he was actually he was just barely taking over when Ricochet left, kind of a deal. Yes. But like Triple H has kind of gone back on everybody who he backed.
Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Triple H has kind of gone back on everybody he believed in, except for fucking Gargano for some reason. Probably because
what the hell?
Sean have some sort of weird thing going on.
Maybe you're right that because as soon as you said it, I'm like, well, I guess he understands the AAA to major leagues,
Yeah.
That there's a different way of presentation in NXT, at least. And maybe that's the thing he needs to fucking tell Sean. Yeah. It's done differently down here. And then it's done differently here. And that's something, of course, we've noticed as, asshole fans, but like there is a different presentation style when it comes to Raw and pay-per-views and things like that. And what made NXT Black and Gold and in my opinion, 2.0 so much more special is that when you have that smaller crowd and you cater to that and you create that different atmosphere, and it plays more impactful that way. Yeah. It's more entertaining to watch.
Yeah. But now it's not that way.
No, it's not. And some people can't translate. That's why I love what Roxanne's able to do, right? Oh, yeah. She's been able to translate through the art of wrestling, right? That entire performance aspect of what WWE is. So, and there's several people who can't, Bobby Roode was able to, but they couldn't push it to the next level, right? They did so many things with Nakamura, and he got stifled as soon as he lost to AJ at Mania, So, like, to not have that true breakthrough from NXT anymore, you would think, you're right, Marks, like, you would think Triple H would be the one to take a Pete Dunne and go, you know what? I can show the world how special this guy is. So you're right. I mean, I would love to have Thatcher back, too. We talked about it. I don't know. It was last week, episode 1, maybe the episode 1 before that. That Ciampa's done so much good work outside of Gargano, and the Thatcher feud was one of them.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
The tag team was so fucking awesome. They were perfect. They were, and it's very rare to get perfect opponents and teammates, and it be translucent, right? Like no matter which one they are, they're perfect together. Yeah. When they were a tag team, it was fucking amazing. When they went against each other, it was fucking amazing.
And I couldn't really understand why they split ring conf, because that's how
Imperium.
they were signed. Well, no, it was ring conf before.
It's
Because it was
Imperium.
Thatcher.
Imperium now, but back then,
Oh,
it was,
Thatcher
that's
was
how.
in Ring-Con?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it was him
Yeah, when it was
and
Ring-Con. Yeah.
him and Walter. And that's how Triple H and them signed him, was at that Bola. That
Yeah.
Bola that year.
Signed them as a team basically, and then immediately
signed
split
them
them
as a
up, and then
team.
never tried to make it work.
Yep. Signed Bronson
whole
Reed,
weird.
then Jonah Rock. Yep.
Yeah.
That Bola was a lot of signings there at that one. I remembered that. I was like, that's the one. Cameron Grimes was one. I mean, that was the Bola that kind of was like, oh, okay. So it's like either the people who are on that Bola, either they went to WWE, some got plucked to AEW, and I think only one went to New Japan. That was Shingo. But yeah, Ilya Dragunov, he got, that was where they saw him and got him. So I mean, just shit like that. But yeah, I don't understand. But I would love to see, Thatcher back. But honestly, I don't know. People don't like that kind of wrestling. I do, but people don't.
I think they do. I think it depends on how it's done. That's why I think it's so weird that we get what we get now, because like you said, Ciampa, like if I'm Triple H and I'm looking at all the cards here, I got Ciampa, I'm letting Gargano go and trying to bring Thatcher back and recreate that. The fact that he's trying to recreate DIY, I'm like, that wasn't even the best thing that any of those guys did.
No.
know?
The only
it's the best thing Johnny did.
Yeah.
It's the best thing. Johnny didn't do anything better outside of that.
Yeah, it's the best thing Johnny did, not the best thing that Ciampa did, not the best.
Well, you
thing
said
Thatcher
any
did.
of those guys, and I thought maybe Johnny fits into that. That's the best thing he did.
No, the only people who love Johnny Gargano are people from Cleveland, the AIW faithful, and fucking the NXT crowd that's in Florida at the tapings. Those are the only people who fucking love Gargano. Period.
If your ceiling is NXT, then you have to go.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah.
Him on the mic was like, my teeth were just like grinding. Yes, that on Tuesday. I was like,
I've never been in the most prestigious of situations, but I tell you this: there is a thing of faking it until you make it, right? And when you get a feeling of what making it is like, you take a personal pride and you grow and you grow and you grow and you grow. How Johnny has never realized that he's never made it baffles me. He presents himself in this way that he has us wrapped around his finger, and that everything he does, and there's a lack of growth, right? He does the same thing all the time, and to not recognize that it's not working, to not recognize and grow and get better, you have no ability to be good at your job. And someone like me doesn't have a job, and he has one, and it fucking bothers me because he's not good at it. He's not fucking good at it. Like, if you were at least showing the fact that you could like get better and do better and be better, but that's the whole point. Like, you're supposed to go into a job and go, okay, I have these tools, right? Johnny has tools. Okay. Mm-hmm. I am performing in a way that gets me to a certain level of success. Okay. Got it. Imagine if they split up DIY on the main roster. What is Johnny going to do?
Nothing.
Right. But he doesn't think that. He thinks he's going to go IC title and I'm going to win. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? To never get better ever is fucking wild to me. But then think like you are doing the thing. Like, you should be the first one. I remember, I mean, look, even the CM Punk clip that came out about WrestleMania, right? With the backstage stuff, he walks up to Triple H and Triple H goes, "You fucking killed it." And CM Punk's first thing out of his mouth was, "Did you like it?" Like, as in, did I do a good job? Right? And I'm wondering, and then the crowd was hot for the WrestleMania match. CM Punk did a good job in that WrestleMania match, right? He played his part. He did his thing. So, like, if he looks back and he hears the crowd, like, he could see he did a good job. But I think only Triple H is going, "Johnny, you did good." Mm-hmm. But he
has to be not like that, though. You know,
It's fucking weird, man.
I know it's weird, but it's like you almost feel like he has to kind of be that way. And I don't know why.
Oblivious?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he can't
We
handle
also
the
got to
truth.
give some of these people like fucking give them a little hope, you know?
Dude, I was
For
listening to Bill Burr's podcast and he inadvertently fucking ripped CM Punk to shreds. Like,
That's awesome.
because I had just seen a little clip of the Unreal thing where CM Punk literally says, you might not like me, you might not agree with me, but you always know I'm going to give it to you straight, and you always know that I'm going to tell you the absolute truth, or some shit like that.
Lies.
And I was like, what? And fucking Bill Burr, like later on in the week, was all like, he's like, there's 3 things you hear from someone right before they lie to you. 1, I'm going to give it to you
Tell you the
straight.
truth.
2, I'm going to tell you the honest truth, right? I'm just being honest right now. And he goes, and 3, back in my day. He's like,
That's funny.
and I was like, dude, Punk says those 3 things all the time.
All the time, right?
One of my favorite. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Well,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Right
that-
now.
Yeah.
Right now. We said that on
Always.
episode 1.
I know.
Tell me when I'm
Always.
telling
Yeah.
lies. Well, actually, right now.
always, always.
You literally just lied to us right now.
You did.
Mhm.
Your nose is growing. Like seriously. Like yeah.
I do want to bring up one little thing,
Mhm.
and then we'll go. Just
Yeah.
because I don't think we have to harp on it too long. But Bruce Pritchard was on Cody's podcast, and I was listening to it, and it's a fun interview. I like those 2 guys. I like hearing them talk. I like the way they both tell stories.
Mhm.
What?
I
What'd you say?
haven't seen it yet. I only saw one clip.
Sure. I mean, it's good. It's worth listening to. I like I said, I like how both of them tell stories. I like listening to them talk. It was a nice little thing, and they've got a nice history that they go into as well, which was fun. But one of the things that I saw get a little bit of traction, and a lot of people being like, "It's the truth. It's the truth," and I don't think that it's not the truth, but they ask Bruce one of the things he learned in the territory days or whatnot, or what's the one big thing I think he learned from Paul Bosch it was or something. And he's all like, you got to listen to the crowd that's in the stands. He goes, those are the ones who pay the money.
Yeah.
And so Bruce was saying that in regards to, I'm not thinking we're in this conversation, but when in regards to like internet podcasts and fans online and stuff, Cody even brings up, like you got a lot of your wind back in your sales because of the internet, because of the podcast that you're doing with Conrad. You guys set the world on fire. And he's all like, so there's a certain part that that there's a viable audience there, right? And Bruce was saying that at the end of the day, he's like, if they're not in the arena, he goes, then they're not paying fans, and you don't listen to not paying fans. He goes, you only listen to the ones that are paying to be in there. And you go, yeah, I hear you. But shouldn't you be a little curious about the ones who stopped paying?
Right.
You know what I mean? What about the fans that were paying that aren't now? Shouldn't you? I'm not saying all the weight on them either, but you should at least be like, well, what are we doing that's turning off people? What is turning people away? What is making who's historically paid us a lot of money to continue going to this suddenly stop? Like, you'd think that would be an interest, maybe not your sole focus. You still want to make anybody in the arena happy. That's who's there today.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the guys who were there last month who aren't there this month? You know what I mean?
Is that something Cody said, or that's your summation when they talk about that?
That's what Bruce said.
Okay. No, Bruce said, what about those that aren't paying?
What?
Or you heard that Bruce said, don't worry about those guys because they're not paying, right?
Bruce said that, yeah, and Cody talked about how the internet audience is a viable audience because of what they all did through the internet.
Okay, and then that's where you took it from what Cody said, like, yeah, fuck yeah, like, come get us to pay again.
In my mind, that's where I summated, shouldn't you be considerate of those who you've turned away?
Just the way
You
it
know what I mean?
sounded was as if that was some part of what Cody was saying. So I just wanted to make sure that was coming from you and not Cody. Got it. Okay. No, I agree. That's part of what we talked about at the beginning, and I'm glad that somebody within the industry is agreeing with us. Like, and it's Cody, right? Like I said, hey, win me over as a fan. You know what, Cody? I'm with you, buddy. Like, yes, I agree that they should be worried about us because we come on these shows, and again, we literally talked about in this episode. I have very little money,
And if you were down the street from me right now, I would want to pay to go. But if you were going to price me out, that is your fault, not mine.
Yeah.
And if I, as an internet wrestling idiot, wants to tell you, hey, TKO, you're pricing us out. Even if I decided to do it the Marsh way and felt true to the commerce system, fuck it, you know what? I'll buy all the apps. I am already per year 2 tickets deep into going to see you, if not 1 ticket deep into seeing you. Sorry, I have to pay for the apps. I can't pay to come see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't think about that.
No.
That's what I mean. That was my takeaway. A lot of people online were kind of being like, "Oh, it makes sense." See, they're talking and look, oh, record highs this, and their prices are, they sold out this and that, and you go, yeah, but that all is limiting, right? There was a time in the Attitude Era they couldn't find a building big enough, and there was a time in 2015 where they had to hide half the audience, empty seats. Like, it does ebb and flow. You should be curious as to what you're doing right. But like, one of the things I thought was so goofy was that Bruce brings up this whole story about some kid being brought backstage, and the kid met Gunther and Becky, and when the kid met Becky, and it was as a child, he told Becky, "I can't wait till Lyra beats you for the IC title." And then, Becky plays with the kid a little bit, XYZ. And then later on, he was asking, like, "Oh, who's your favorite?" And stuff. He goes, "Oh, Roman Reigns, because he's the man." He goes, "But my second's probably Cody. When Roman retires, then Cody might be the man." You know what I mean? Until Roman's gone. And then he also said something along the lines of like, "Yeah, I love booing Becky." And I was like, you're asking a child about what they like about the thing that they're doing right in this moment. And you're saying that holds more weight than the people who spent thousands of dollars on you for a period of several years suddenly saying what you're doing isn't clicking. You know what I mean? Like, I understand there's a balance, but I feel like that there's more of a balance than he's trying to say. You know what I mean?
Or you're requesting parents to buy their children's happiness. So because this child wants it this way, their parent is now going to pay for that opportunity to exist again. Well, my kid likes it, so now I'm going to spend double the price to take myself and my kid. Where I'm the opposite. I'm not going to pay for my child's happiness. I'm not going to make sure he can go to experience that because that's what he loves. If we as a family don't enjoy this, well, guess what? We could not enjoy this from home.
Yeah. And the other thing to me is, my first thought was, well, the kid's backstage talking to Bruce.
Yeah.
So that kid's got a level of access that's already different than everyone else in the stands.
And he wasn't a Make-A-Wish?
Didn't sound like it. Okay. I don't remember. He said who the kid was, and I don't remember Make-A-Wish coming up. But in my mind, I'm already like, well, you're already talking about an isolated person. You're already talking about somebody who's not the typical fan. You're already talking about somebody who's got an access that most of the kids in the audience would only dream of. Mm-hmm. Are those kids having fun booing, or are those kids being frustrated at missing this or that because they got to beat parking? Or, you know what I mean? Are they frustrated because they can't go backstage and they can't afford a shirt at the stands either? You know what I mean? Like, hey, sorry, kid, but we can't buy that. You know what I mean? Like, there's more than one type of kid in that audience. You know what I mean? There's more than one type of adult who stopped going. Like, it's a little weird to me for him to try to take this territory day mentality, which is a lot of sense during the territory days. If the crowd's not reacting, they don't come back next week because it was weekly shows every week in the same city, at the same place, at the same time. Yeah. If they're not engaged, they're not coming back next week. They'll kill the town. You're all over the world. You only go to Paris once every 3 years. Of course, we're putting that. You know what I mean? He just seems like a mentality there. I think is I think there's a gap of knowledge there that they revel in, and I think that also goes to show with like the Mark Shapiro thing from earlier. Well, we can make more if we stopped focusing on families, but the families are the ones bringing in the
people who are buying this shit. They're the ones that are buying the figures for their kids. They're the ones buying those fucking belts. Besides those guys who live in their mom's basement who don't wash their shirts and wear deodorant to shows. I mean, you can only get so many of those, after a while. And it's like you cater to sometimes some of the insiders or people who think that they're relevant. Because there's like 2 that right now that I'm seeing on my fucking timeline, and I'm like, y'all have bullshit content. How come none of my peeps are like sought after by one of these companies? I mean, yes, we were blacklisted. I think that's awesome by AEW. Yep. Thanks, Tony Khan. But woo! Cheers to that one.
It's amazing that Thunder Rosa didn't stick up for us.
I don't think she knew. Honestly, I don't think Mel knew. I don't think she knew. But I think it was kind of like Tony Khan knows who the fuck I am, because when he saw me in San Jose, you could tell eye to eye. He knew who I was. I'm like, yeah, I know you blacklisted me because I talking shit, but you fucking shit. Yeah, we all know your shady dealings. I see. Anyways, but no, I mean the kids are the ones that you're buying this. Like, you see it with AEW. You see, Ring of Honor really is not a good example because there weren't a lot of kids, but there were a couple here and there. I know my friend Jake brought his kids because his kids loved Joe Hendry back in the day, and it was affordable to go, like when they were at Sam's Town in Vegas. But when you're now like, okay, if you have 3 kids and y'all want to yeet, it's like, shit, that could be like $1,500 just to get into the door. God forbid you try to go get one of those tickets on an aisle. I don't even want to know. They're probably you're probably going to spend at least for you and 3 kids, at least $2,000 just on tickets. And it's like, what, fucking maybe 90 minutes or something. Yeah. Boring. Yeah, that's too much money. Way too much money. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. Yeah. All I know is I need to sell an organ. I'm going to need to prepare, rob a bank, or I need to put money away because God forbid Ricky goes to the main roster and does something big, because you know where I want to be. Yeah. So
I mean, that's at this point, if I'm not getting comp tickets, there's not a lot of shows I'm turning.
I don't like to, you know what? I don't like to ask. I'll tell you why I don't like to ask, because I always get like certain people, I'm not going to name names, guilt trip. And I'm like, don't guilt trip me. Okay. That's why I'm hoping that certain people like get out of the fucking, like the thing and actually go to WWE, because I can easily ask them, and that's not a problem at all. No guilt trip, no nothing. Yeah, Coco Dana, give me a guilt trip. Anyways, every time.
Well, now, based on the other things that you said, you should feel confident asking for comp tickets, because they never come around. So when they do come around, you should be like, you know what? Since you guys are never here, hook me up.
Yeah. But there's things I want before a comp ticket.
Okay.
I need my ring worn gear.
Yes.
And then we'll talk. Yeah. That's to me more of a, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of picky because now it's got to be a special one, because the other 2 ones are kind of special. Yeah. So, but the ones I want, I don't think he'll part with. So, and if he does, I would fucking be to the moon. To the moon. Just like Cameron Grimes.
All right. But I was just saying that I understand the idea of listening to the perception of the paying fans, but it does feel to me that mentality, that push mentality of no other fan matters, I think could be, I think it could bite them in the ass at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like the whole slump they had after Punk's departure for 8 years had a lot to do with, those fans not being heard, the voice of the voiceless. A lot of that concept, right, was still kind of left over and residual, and the amount of people and the entire gap that allowed AEW to exist, which I will say is for the better. I think AEW ought to exist, or at least it had a place. If it stops existing, it still served in a lot of ways. But that was all with the expense of WWE not servicing the fans that at the time, if you remember, we haven't talked about it in a long time. The lapsed fan was a massive market people were trying to figure out. And now they're really focusing on, well, how do we get the celebrity fan? It's like, what?
Yeah, the ones you're comping, you're not even like fucking charging people. Like now that Jelly Roll shows up at all these things, are you making him pay? Because that seat's a 20. Well, I don't know how much it was at. Let's say it's a Raw, right? That's a $2,700 seat. The guy's got the money to do it. Post Malone, all these motherfuckers. But we know you're giving it to them. You know, some of these influencer guys, I wonder, are you giving them some of this shit? You know, like I want to be fucking. There's one that I see on my Instagram, and he's sponsored by a fucking goddamn fucking black market fucking reseller. I want to be sponsored by a black market reseller. Fuck. You know, seriously. You know, that'd be great. Yeah, give us, if you're listening, Tick Picks, you know what? That guy is dumb. He'll fucking do anything for a fucking dime. Okay, I'll tell you how it is 10 ways to Sunday. My boy Marsh. I do this sponsored, not sponsored thing because you know what? One day, somebody's going to do that. Somebody will sponsor and it'll be grand. You're going to hook all the boys up. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. And hook myself up, obviously. But that's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah. So tickets would be great. Like I would plug the shit out of, you know, black market. Here's how you get the best tickets. Wait. Yeah. Wait. Or what? Yeah. I would kill fucking WWE's and TKO's ticket theory. I'm like, nope. Guess what? You're going to mark it up and then fucking it's not going to sell. And guess what? You're going to scramble to the black market.
I just have a hunch we're going to be entering an era of lapsed fans again just because of pricing alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, they have a safeguard that if they're not going to do house shows, they don't have to worry about massive ticket revenue. They can see a dip in Raw and SmackDown attendance because they already have 5-year TV deals on both brands. So they have that income already. So what they'll end up doing, and you'll see it for sure, is they'll be big pushing the pay-per-views to make sure that people navigate to the streaming services to make that money back, and that they'll be packing the arenas for those shows. And it'll end up being, honestly, like the UFC model, where all that other shit in the middle isn't that important, but when it gets to pay-per-views, you're going to hear the hype. And that's incredibly unfortunate because, look, I'm no Nostradamus or what have you, but what I knew when the TKO deal happened, the number one thing I knew that was going to happen is that they would infiltrate each other's markets, right? Like where WWE goes that UFC usually doesn't, that's where UFC ends up. Same thing with WWE. When it goes to UFC territories, they'll end up doing that. And as you see, like the globalness of each brand, they're now mixing markets that they didn't go to. I'm like, cool, that's awesome. But now when I see that TKO is treating WWE like UFC, they really are going to end up in that space where, well, it's now WWE 500. Let's make sure we put on the biggest show for WWE 500. You know, they're moving Raw to 7 p.m. on the next 3 Mondays because of what Monday Night Football is doing. I have a feeling Raw is going to be on Tuesday after No Time Flat. Even though on Netflix, I think it was last Thursday that I put on Netflix in the top 20 was Raw. Yeah. So it still gets high streaming numbers on Netflix throughout the week. So I don't know what the fuck they got going on. I do watch Raw. I do watch SmackDown. I do watch pay-per-views. But if they're going to continue to gear towards a UFC model, they will, like you said, Marsh, they'll turn us into lapsed fans for sure. I got a buddy of mine who texts me every once in a while. Who the fuck's this guy? Because he went to WrestleMania. He's the buddy that I spoke about earlier that went to WrestleMania for the $150 ticket. He wanted to see The Rock live. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you, man. Like, but the idea that he has to text me and go, who's the fuck this guy? This person wrestles? Wow, what is this? And I'm like, yeah, man. And then I got to explain shit to him because he is a Labs fan, because they find these different places to put barriers to entry into the product. And it's like, well, no. He just opts out and texts a buddy who cares too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, at a certain point, it's going to be. I mean, yeah, me and Kev used to talk about stuff all the time, and at this point, it's almost like last time you watched Raw, like a month ago. You know what I mean? Like, oh, did you catch this? I'll probably catch it in a week or two. I'm wondering if like their numbers are going to be such that yeah, it does do really well during the week, but I think that in their mind, like, look, there's a lot wrong with Vince McMahon, but my big takeaway from a lot of that thing and a lot of the thoughts for Netflix was that they always said that Vince always seemed to be thinking so far in the future. He talked about their own wrestling channel fucking 10 years before they got the network.
Netflix,
when they got the network,
when he was thinking about his own network.
Yeah. When he talked about going public long before they ever did. He talked about WWE Network long before they ever did it. But it was all these like visions of like these craziness. The idea of streaming in general was a Vince idea. You know what I mean? Like we could have a isolated website where you could just see all of our stuff, and we could even go live from that website. He didn't know what it was called yet. He was talking about streaming before it was streaming. So I think that in his mind, the thing that he did right was always thinking about how do we keep this going another 100 years? He was always trying to think of 100 years more success because the company had been around for 50, right? And it's all like, in his mind, this was his legacy. This was his life's work. This was his family's work. And it had to extend into eternity, right? Like that's the mind of a madman. Yeah. Where I think with TKO, it's very much an entrepreneurial spirit, right? Where they always say, hey, for every 10 failed businesses an entrepreneur has, he knocks out one successful one. Well, what does that one successful one look like? 9 times out of 10, they started one and flipped it, right? Like didn't Elon create PayPal and sell it? And then that's how he got the money to do Tesla. You know what I mean? Like that's the idea of success to them, is to make a thing that I can sell off quickly to make my money to do something I'd rather do. Now it looks like WWE's a business that if it fails, it's just another failed IPO. Yeah. It's just another failed business that where it's all like, well, you're stripping everyone of all their money now. And it goes, well, yeah, but we'll have their money now. And then we can use that money to do something later if we want. And you're like, but what about the longevity? The concept of longevity and eternal business models is just stripped away.
So do you think that they're trying to find a way to increase the value in a way where they can sell it off to a different entity and not worry about it? Because because exactly what you're saying would lead to the inability to create revenue, right? Mm-hmm. So
I think that will always be on their table. Their table will always be, we can always sell it, right?
Yeah.
Where with nothing that was ever on his mind until very much later in his life, obviously, when he finally did. But I think that there was majority of his life, the idea of I can always just sell it was never an option. Where I think that's always an option to them.
Yeah, and it feels disingenuous from honestly, even from a company structure standpoint, right? They gave WWE, I believe it was and I'm sure I'm completely wrong, but like a 48% valuation to UFC's 52% valuation, right? Like whatever the split shares was, the actual number, UFC was this much more valuable. And then as soon as the Netflix deal happened, boom, they became even. And then the USA deal happened, and then the CW deal happened. It wasn't until the Paramount deal did UFC's valuation then become higher then. So like you see the structures that happen within place and all this economical bullshit. But the point remains with UFC, their economic model for how they operate and it's consistently going like this. They created a product that is valued without changing their core principles of operation. They actually add more and more to the way they operate to continue to get these valuations to where they signed a 7-year deal for $7 billion with Paramount.
Yeah.
WWE, again, when you look at AEW, when you look at TNA, if TNA was on TV in primetime spots for 7 hours a week, people will watch it, right? AEW is in primetime spots for 6 hours a week, and people watch it. It's not a lot compared to WWE, but as I've said this, WWE gets what, 2 million viewers on a Monday? There's 300 million people just in the U.S. 2 million people is not a lot. It's not a lot, right? So in market share of what you're looking for, if you're going to ostracize half your fan base and tell them to go fuck themselves because you want the barrier of entry to your product to be another app, well, you're going to devalue what you're worth. So if WWE is going to grow to a market to a market cap that is akin to UFC, and now it's worth $15 billion based on the TKO's, full on, corporate structure. So now it's worth $13 billion. Okay, who's going to buy that? The Saudis? And now you'll always have the money and not worry about it. Now you're in the Tony Khan structure of it. And I'm not saying Tony Khan's, linked in that way, but Tony Khan's business model was I have more money so I can do whatever I want.
Exactly.
One thing you can't do is create a better product. Yeah. And if WWE is not going to focus on a better product and only focus on price gouging, then we're always going to be in this spot.
Yeah, and I just saw the thing today too. I haven't gone through much diligence to try and check it in any way, but it does appear that WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi Arabia in 2027.
Wow.
Yeah.
That does seem to be. It was kind of a mini announcement that was waiting on confirmations and stuff, but
only good.
Yeah.
That means WrestleMania is at noon on the East Coast.
I was about to say morning time.
9 a.m. on the West Coast. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Well, it's better than New Japan.
Part's not bad. That part's not bad.
Yeah, better than New Japan. What is it? Like 4 in the morning?
4 o'clock in the morning, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And 1 a.m.
The Super Juniors. Okay, what time's it on? Dude, 4 a.m. on a Thursday. What the fuck are you talking about? Zero chance of watching it.
God damn. New Japan killed me a lot of the times. It killed me. Certain ones. Like in the matches, of course, I want to see them. I'm falling asleep and I'm like, oh. Yeah, God forbid you watch
Kushida versus Zack Sabre Jr., Takahashi versus Kenny Omega. That sounds amazing. How do I watch it? Oh, 4:30 in the morning on this link right here. I'm good, man.
Well, technically, if you woke up at like 7 a.m., you would see those matches because they're toward the end. So, you would see that if you did that. But
dude, and we talked about it once before when we lapsed and came back. The biggest reason I came back was because of the network. It was suddenly easy for me to watch all the big shit.
Yeah.
And I could go back and watch other big shit. And I could go back and rewatch it. And it was all centralized. The idea that I could just have a $10 a month subscription and get all my WWE. My Hulu already had my edited Raw and SmackDown. That was good enough because I'm mostly watching the network anyways. It was suddenly very, very easy. So I came back. If they make it suddenly again, very, very difficult, it's going to be really easy to be like, well, I guess that's just a thing I used to love.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
I tell
we'll see how Worlds Collide goes.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's interesting because I was looking at the WWE shop. Did you know that they have 26 fucking Canelo versus Crawford things of merch?
Wow.
27. That's not. They don't even go here.
Yep. No, TKO's again. It's the corporatizing of all. We went poetic on how awful Fanatics was last week, right? Like on episode 1.
Yep.
The amount of just bullshit. Marsh, you're 1,000% correct. WWEshop.com as an entity, WWE Network as an app, as an entity. Instead of harnessing that and finding a way to add intelligent infrastructure and build and keep your own shit that no one else touches, is why we as fans today are like, you know what? I'm kind of good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of good. Because had the network, they tried Camp WWE and Legends House and all these fun shows that hit the little kid in us, right? They tried those things, and they were fun, and they were cool, but it wasn't the essence. Because what happens today, right? None of those shows exist when they go and sell their product, right? It's just their shows.
Yep.
But if they put Raw on the WWE Network and they signed $1 billion contract with Snickers to be their sponsor for 5 fucking years, and we get to watch the app for $9.99 a month, I don't own Netflix right now. I miss out on the experience of Wednesday because I'm just watching WWE all the fucking time. Like, that's how simple this is. But because we're in the US and we're in this capitalistic society, we have no opportunity to enjoy things that are good.
Yeah.
It always is about where the next dollar comes from. So they saw the success of streaming and they go, you know what? How do we license this shit to other streamers so we don't have to host our own servers, so we don't have to pay for our own electricity, so we don't have to, no, fuck it, we'll license all our shit to Peacock. Now Peacock can do it for us, and we'll just dissolve the WWE Network. No, if it was still there, I said this shit for years. The UFC had Dana White's Contender Series. They had the Ultimate Fighter. They had these preview shows leading into fights that were pay-per-views. Had the UFC had a WWE style app, which they had Fight Pass, but Fight Pass didn't include all that shit. If they had an app that included all their content, I would pay $9.99 a month for WWE. I would pay $9.99 a month for UFC, and that's all I would watch all the time. But centralizing your shit and having people come to you isn't as profitable as selling the rights to someone else who can get marketing to come in and pay dollars otherwise. It is fucking preposterous. And I cannot stand the U.S. economic system and the fact that that's how this shit exists. I can go, oh, NBC Universal, you have all this stuff. How about you pay us $1 billion? You migrate us across all your channels however you want, and this is how it looks, and it's up to you to get that money back. And they go to Snickers, and they go to Powerade, and they go to fucking Fiji Water, whatever the fuck, and they find all this ways to get these nickels and dimes from everyone else, and WWE just puts on their product. It's brilliant for WWE from an effort standpoint, but for us as the consumers, man, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when we first heard the Peacock deal, everyone went, "Oh shit, this is perfect. The WWE network will be able to fix the Peacock network, and it'll be a fully functional, not difficult app to utilize the way that because they had brought over a bunch of people from the WWE network app people to Peacock, and then we found out a little while later they all got fucking released right away, and I was all like, oh, and we all thought this network is so perfect. Of course, other streaming services want the key to it.
Yeah.
But like you said, instead it was actually the exact opposite, where they showed us that they could do this thing really well, and then they sacrificed it all for the sake of more money right now.
Oh, yeah.
To this day, Peacock's search function sucks.
It's terrible.
Even for its own content, it is fucking horrendous. And that was the one thing you could always trust about the WWE Network. That search function, you can literally find whatever the fuck you want. The app
You
was
could search El Dandy, and every episode of Nitro that he was on would come up with a fucking timestamp of when his match was.
Yes. It would give you the episode, the promo in that episode, the match in that episode, the post-match promo in that episode, all right next to each other. It was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
But it's not about us.
Yeah.
It's about how much money they can make and then what we have to adjust going forward.
Yeah. Totally.
So I have a nice watch.
We'll see where we're at, because I am going to be in San Diego for Survivor Series, but we'll see if I've even been able to watch anything by then.
Well, I'll be there, and I'll make sure that I have something. We'll figure it out.
We'll see what's going on. But
I mean, I don't know. Like, part of me, selfishly, is sitting here thinking to myself, okay, at the Superstore, right? That's gonna be a shit show. I hope that they're doing, like, they did signings and shit at the Superstore. That's when fucking Aleister Black was walking down the street, and I was like, it's Tommy End, and everyone's looking at me like, what No, that's Alistair Black. I'm like, it's Tommy N to me. Okay, sorry. Just saying. I have to be that person. Yes, special. But I hope they're doing something, or they do something NXT. That'd be awesome. Because if they are, that's where my money's going.
Yeah.
Try to get a free ticket. See if Ricky will hook you up.
Yeah, I should. I'm like, at least fucking give me the thing where I can like, take a picture with you and the fucking other belt, and I can fucking cry. Yeah, but all I know is this: if he does not win it, I'm saying this now. I'm gonna message him and say this. If he does not win in Florida in a couple of weeks, he does not win that title. Probably gonna do it at Halloween Havoc, and I fucking need comp front fucking row. Period. No excuse.
You should tell him that. I flew to Florida for you. If you don't win and you are going for the title in Arizona, I want a ticket.
Well, the way he had kind of said to me, "Oh, you're going to Florida?" Like, why? Why am I going to Florida? That's what made me believe
for
that,
you, Ricky, because I'm a fucking mark. That's what you tell me.
Well, no, but it's like he won't tell me, but it's like, come on,
He shouldn't.
No. But
but if he did say, "Hey, save your money," like that'd be cool too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he would, because he knows, like, I wasn't there when he won the North American title, so it's like, okay, and like he knows, he fucking knows, he knows. Oh yeah, he knows. I mean, is what it is. I mean, I don't know. That'd be great, because then that would be the now. I didn't see him win any title in AEW. Actually, that'll be the second through NWA. I want to say be third, but maybe not. It'd be the second one, and this one's an important.
Win
one.
any of the stupid little Defy titles or anything with you around?
Oh yeah, he won that too. Sorry,
that's right. You made her so fucking happy.
Hey, because that was
some dumb title.
Because that was the free Ricky Starks thing.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, he got freed. I didn't have anything to do with that. He thought it was great. It was funny. But yeah. So, anyways, yes. So, guys, man, we went off on this shit because this is a fucking very touchy subject. Very touchy.
Yes.
Yes.
It sucks when you want to love something and it refuses to love you back.
Pretty much, that's right.
That's why I show up for the hate from you guys, because as much as the hate is, I know there's love there. And March, me and you, we talk about all the time, like how much there isn't to talk about. And we just did 3 fucking hours with nothing to talk about. Why? Yeah. Why? Because the conversation is what's more important than anything else. Mm-hmm. The connection, the bond that we have over this shit, like it means more than what they want to put us through. And if they're going to put us through that, then we'll get stronger together. Yeah. Absolutely. And that sounds a little, whatever, but it's the truth. Like,
but I think us as fans need to revolt. But you see, the problem is, and this is just like in the hotel industry, right now, like everyone's undercutting each other, like low prices. Nobody has any rate integrity. But I'm like, if we all band together, okay, we will make it. And it will happen. You need to fucking be together to force change. That's the thing as fans is we need to do is tell them, fuck you and this whole bullshit and band together and not, and put your fucking little agendas aside. And as a community, fucking agree, because everyone I think would agree that this shit's expensive. I don't care who you are. You like AEW, you like fucking, midget wrestling, you like fucking CMLL, whatever. Right?
It would be wild to see how they responded if they had a series of events that just did really poorly, but indie shows were packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GCW gets completely packed. Nobody, whatever. But I'm talking like some of these big indies, though. But there's very few big ones.
I know we've been going forever, and I definitely got to get off soon. Yeah. But that's kind of the issue with AEW, right? Like with all the shit talk that they've ever done, they've never focused on the quality of product and the engagement with the consumer that they're not like force feeding themselves to maintain, right?
that little pocket of the IWC that's like, oh my god, AEW is the fucking greatest, right? Like, well, that gives you 1,800 fans local in the U.S.
Yeah.
But had they gone step by step by step and been a true alternative that people like us could invest into, this would be the breaking point where WWE is getting so fucking greedy that it's like, you know what? I'm not going to tune. I'm going to tune over there. And you said it right. Residency in Philly, right? They're in the same building that I drove to see Hammerstone and Fatu for the title in MLW. Again, because of this show is why I went. I'm so happy I went. It's not that far. And if I had any fucking reason to go to watch AEW, I would go every week to go watch them.
Yeah.
But AEW didn't give me that reason. And WWE is taking those reasons away. But had AEW focused on that and built themselves as a brand worthy of not the 2300 Arena, but the Wells Fargo Center that's right across the street. It's literally like it's a half a mile away. You can sell that out. It's 13,000 people. Of course you can sell that out if you built yourself to that level. And remember, one of the reasons All In ever existed is because Meltzer said, not like he's good at it, no one else can sell out 15,000 seats. No one can sell. So they proved Meltzer wrong by selling the 15,000 seats, right?
There was not 15,000.
Well, you know that.
11,000. I have the shirt.
It might have been 10. It might have been 10.
It was 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Almost
Meltzer said
11.
no one on the Indies can sell 10,000. So as a prove you wrong, they did it. They never built on that. They never built on that, and they never kept going. They never adjusted their vision to make sure. And you don't have to cater to fans, but you have to take the fans into account.
You know,
And no company is doing that right now.
I think that the thing that the Indies and AEW will never be able to grasp onto, which is the one thing that made WWE so easy to sell to everybody, was they put on a show for everybody.
Yeah.
And Indies put on a show for extreme wrestling fans, and AEW puts it on for hardcore wrestling fans.
Yeah.
But no one's putting on a show that they can feel they can take their kid to. Can't take my kid to Bloodsport. You know what I mean? Can't take my kid to fucking GCW. You know what I mean?
But the kids there.
Well, they should not be there because
There should not be
bad
exactly.
parenting.
Like Defy, I'll use them. They they don't have, it's at least 8. Some of the venues, I think Washington Hall, it's 18 and over. Used to be 21, but they relaxed it. So most of their shows are non-children. Every once in a blue moon, they'll do shows that let kids in. And I think that's a great model, personally. I think it's a great model.
I don't have a problem with letting kids in, but the show should be catering to them as well.
Yeah, but there's some things that happen in there, but a lot of it has to do with the commission up there, I think. So,
well, maybe not even catered, but at least palatable, like understandable. It doesn't have to be over their head. It doesn't have to be, fucking Bride of Chucky either. So like, there needs to be a way. And you said this, Mars, earlier. Like Vince's goal was to make sure that generationally, that this thing exists. So you can have a John Cena match that plays to the 60-year-old who loves wrestling, to the 40-year-old that grew up in the Attitude Era, to the 20-year-old that, got it from his dad who was in the Attitude Era, who's thinking about having kids and cannot wait to take his children to the show.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exist. It just doesn't.
I mean, Effie can't be on a show that has kids in the audience. You know what I mean? You can't book a show around Janela that way. You could. He probably could pull it off, but he won't. He doesn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Janela has.
He could, but he doesn't. When he has the collective shows, his show.
No, because that's not for children.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones where they have the most children available.
Right.
The collective is around WrestleMania. You should be able to take your kid to go see WrestleMania and then realize you could take your kid to a whole bunch of other shit. Instead, you're watching Joey Ryan and Effie grab each other's dicks, and you're watching fucking Janela throw glass at some bitch. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like that's why they can't sell those arenas, because they refuse to acknowledge that there's a fan base that WWE's tapped into and is starting to price out. So you can't just be cheaper and get it. You have to also be something that people will pay for, who wouldn't otherwise have just gone to it because, you know what I mean? If you're only going to cater to hardcore wrestling fans, you're only going to get them.
Yeah.
If you want to sell 10,000 tickets, you can't do that. I mean, if you watch All In, it's an All Ages show.
Yeah. Well, minus the
done really
Joey
well.
Ryan spot.
Yes, minus Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
Because he came out. That's when he came out with the inflatable penises, right?
That was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Even me, I was like, is this necessary?
Yeah.
Is this necessary?
But
And
no,
then
but well, that's the
all
thing.
went
He was,
on.
if I'm not mistaken, he was even an after spot to a match. It wasn't associated with the match. He was like the surprise, takeover after the match, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The hangman. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, like, look, I completely agree. And as a wrestling fan, since I've come back into it, like again, when AEW started, I was in. I was like, okay, give me something else to watch because I am perfect example. I'm no golden child, but I grew up in the Attitude Era, right? And I literally channel flipped back and forth. I watched both. Nitro was better than Raw. In Your House was better than any fucking pay-per-view that WCW put on. And I remember watching it that way. I would watch more Nitro than Raw. But when it came to pay-per-views, I was so excited for In Your Houses. I remember that. So there is a fan like me. I know for a fucking fact I'm not the only person that ever enjoyed both. I want to enjoy more. I spent most of my youth watching and talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Why can't I do that today?
Yeah.
Even as an adult.
Yeah.
The product just isn't there.
And with AEW, I was not on the boat because I was sold really on fucking goddamn Ring of Honor. That's where I was. And then shit happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But hey, I just think now we all need to revolt against the man. And I'm not talking about Becky Lynch, but the big bad TKO, and basically say, you know what? It's too much. It is too much. That's all I know.
Interesting to see.
Yeah.
What happens after the CSPN deal and everything as it all starts happening, because I don't think everyone's going to flock. I just don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all right, guys.
Really weird. Yeah. So, guys, thank you again. We know where to find Marsh. You know where to find me. We know where to find Bishop at TW Takes Podcast on all formats and whatnot.
The arbiter of audio unboxings.
Yes. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Send you a screenshot of the guy who owns the company that I did the unboxing for.
Uh-huh.
I am the fucking king of audio unboxing.
Yeah.
Just know.
Well,
I will audio unbox fucking anything, bro.
Let's put this out in the ether.
I am the audio unboxing king. And this is without the ASMR shit. I don't even know if you need to do the video. I sent you the video. I don't even know if you need to do it. I fucking murdered it, bro. I murdered it. I am
But
the
you didn't
audio
have
unboxing
sound
king.
of opening things.
Listen, there's some crinkle. There's some crinkle.
No, you need.
But not every box that you open makes a sound.
You can manipulate it. I've seen
I
that.
can. I'm very
I've seen
good at
people do those boo-boos on Instagram. I've seen that shit. But no, I'm telling you, people, if you're listening out there, send us some stuff to unbox. We'll do audio unboxing.
Yeah.
You can.
I will do audio unboxing.
Hey,
Don't
you can
steal my
unbox-
shit. I don't go to indie shows. Don't do audio unboxing.
A lot of people go to indie shows. That's not
shit.
unique.
I'm not gonna...
That's not unique. No. No, but I'm saying send you some shit.
Fuck yeah,
So-
I'll audio unbox the shit out of shit.
Exactly.
For sure.
I was trying to get Seagrams to sponsor us, to give us those fucking drinks. They gave some fucking white girl who had the fucking podcast fucking drinks. I'm like, shit, that's our thing here. Okay.
Except for the white girl part.
Yeah, the white girl
podcast. There's no white girls on this show.
No, they're not. I could be. If
I
you
don't
if
think
you
we've ever
didn't
had a
know,
white girl on the show.
but you know what? If you didn't know that I was
One thing this
Asian,
show has never had.
We've never had a white girl.
but to be fair, if you were to listen to me and you didn't know I was Asian, you would be all, yeah, there's a white girl on your show if you've never seen it. And then they'd be all, oh, never mind.
I don't know. You talk about Hello Kitty a lot.
White girls like Hello Kitty too. That's why I can't find some of this shit at like Ross and whatever. But I'm not going to go into that one.
All right, let's tap out.
So, guys, thank you once again for joining us for another episode 1. Yeah, we're not going to get to 2. Sorry. But you know what? That's okay. Thanks for drinking with us. That's last call.
Cheers.
Producer Lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support and buy us a drink by putting the I in subscribe and reviewing our podcast. And cheers.
I would never have a drink